What's up, everybody? You know what we do? It's NiceGuyAndy, the NiceGuyAndy podcast. You know, it's Wednesday night and we watch wrestling, and this is a wild all out that happened on Sunday. A lot of stuff, crazy stuff happened with CM Punk and MJF came back, but tonight we have a special guest in the house, Henry Shaw from Allied Pro Wrestling.
Hello.
What's up, my man?
What's happening?
And then, you know, what we do, we got Johnny Lee, superfan Snowden next to me.
What's up? What's up?
Take it away, Snowden.
So tell me, Henry Shaw, how long have you been inside the wrestling business?
This past August made 18 years that I've been in the business.
Nice.
Yeah.
That means that you've been inside there longer than most guys that
Been alive.
got cocky.
Yeah. Most guys have been alive in the business. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of them got too cocky for the britches, too.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, definitely. There are some attitude problems, but other than that, you know, there's a lot of good people in this business.
Exactly. And they're the ones that I respect the most.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that, like you,
Well, thank you.
have a legacy that you built on
Yep.
your own.
Yep.
And you're also the owner of Allied Pro Wrestling.
Yep. Yes, I am. Yep. We started Allied Pro Wrestling. Actually, we started it in January of this year, but where Kentucky has the licensing deals, we couldn't get our license in time, and then we just started booking shows down in Corbin. Is where we wanted to establish our foothold down in Corbin.
Nice.
And we got a few shows going on down there. We got a few more coming in the next year. As of right now, we are in talks with other cities and counties, school systems, everything. We ain't heard anything back yet from some. We have heard back from some, so we're negotiating where we want to do. And obviously, the flooding in East Kentucky, we were going to try to do some stuff in East Kentucky, but the flooding happened, so we've kind of backed off, let them guys and girls recover a little bit, and maybe when the time's right, we'll hit that area.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you something.
All right.
What is your favorite time that you've been in wrestling?
My favorite time?
Yes.
Friends of mine called this the MySpace era. This happened, I started in '04. August of '04 is when I actually started. And most of the time you'd either call or most of the time you would show up to wrestling organizations like, hey, you need any guys tonight? Because me and a carload of guys have done that plenty of times, especially like in Ohio and Indiana. We just show up and say, hey, you guys need anybody? And sometimes they would take all of us or they would take one of us. We'd be happy for the guy. We just hang out, make friends, do whatever. But majority of bookings back in the day happened because of your MySpace page. Like whatever pictures and whatever profile you put on the MySpace page, you wouldn't believe how many people would hit me up to it's like, hey, are you available this Saturday night? And I'm like, looking at your MySpace profile, like, oh, okay, yeah. And like, what do you need? And then you go from there. But that era was fun because it was new to me. Because I knew things. You always think you know everything about wrestling. Then you get into it and you're like, oh, this is totally opposite of what I thought.
Exactly.
Especially like people you hear about. I always heard that King Kong Bundy was a jerk. One of the nicest people you'd ever meet.
Yeah,
ever.
That's right.
Yeah, Jim the Animal Neidhart, one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. And I was scared to death of him when I was a kid.
I know,
You know,
right?
that was, big thing, different things and everything.
Hey, Crystal.
But other than that, you had these things that you thought you knew, but you didn't know. Then you would experience it. You're like, oh, this is totally not what I expected. Going into places like my rookie year, I wrestled in Canada, Oshawa, Canada, in the great Canadian Wrestling Expo in Oshawa, Canada. I think we were maybe 100 miles past Toronto. We were deep. And this was November of '05. And I was thinking, man, I hope wrestling's like this the whole time. Well, it's had its ups and downs. It didn't, that was one of the peak moments of my rookie year and all that stuff. I mean, I've had some great years and everything. Don't get me wrong. I've had some bad years, which we all have.
Yeah.
But, the Canadian experience is one I'll never forget. Johnny Devine, he was a contract with TNA then, and he stayed 2 doors down in my hotel room. And one of the coolest things ever, like he would knock on everybody's door and then run. which, I mean, a lot of them would do that. But the greatest thing he ordered pizza in everybody's room number, and then the pizza guy would deliver it. And you're like, I didn't order any pizza. But Johnny Divine set that up. I found out later it was Johnny Divine did that and everything. And the guy I was rooming with, he's like, well, joke's on them. We were going to order pizza anyway, so we took it.
Yeah.
But things like that. That experience up there. I got to see Niagara Falls because of wrestling. I never would have thought driving up to Niagara Falls would I ever see that. I got to see it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I didn't go pay to park or anything like that. We just parked on the side of the road, took pictures, posed, whatever, and just rode on down the road. But just things like that, things that'll humble you in a heartbeat. Thinking which I didn't think I was ever the best wrestler there was, which I still don't think I'm. Not the guys that are on the E or AEW, all that stuff. But I always thought, I know what I'm doing, and then I got a wake up call when I went to Ring of Honor and realized how horrible I am compared to everybody up there. Oh my gosh. Those guys, you're sitting there watching these guys. It was the tryout too, and I tried out for Ring of Honor twice, didn't make it. Got some yeses the second time. The first time I got no's. No, no's. But it was also like a character development thing. The first thing that I remember going up there is they drilled promos in your head.
Donnie Green said he thinks you're a great big guy.
Oh, Donnie Green.
Yeah.
What a legend right there. Good guy. Fantastic softball player, too.
Yeah, that's what I hear, yeah.
But when I went to Ring of Honor, my gimmick didn't match my persona, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes
I used
sense.
to wear a T-shirt and baggy, we used to call them garbage pants. And, God, those things were so hot. I was so glad I got rid of those. Pleather pants, and they would fall down half the time. And, I did my promos of I'm Your Mom's Favorite and all that and everything. And then as we're leaving, I was disappointed because I didn't get no yeses or anything like that. And then, I don't care to tell this or anything because I've told this story a few times. Adam Cole pulls me to the side and says, come here, big guy, let me talk to you a minute. And he's like, your character does not fit the persona. So this is what you need to do. First thing you need to do is get rid of that T-shirt, get rid of those baggy pants, come in spandex. I said, but I don't look good in spandex. He said, make yourself look good in spandex.
Yeah.
So he said, when you come back here and try again, he said, are you coming back? I said, definitely. Because it angered me more than anything that I got no's. And then I thought, oh man, I could have out-wrestled these guys and all that stuff. No,
Yeah.
I couldn't. But it was the character that more got the no's. Are you TV ready? Is what it was. I was not TV ready whatsoever. And then that humbled me big time. Big piece of humble pie, as you would say. But they pulled me this, he pulled me aside, and then, Uncle Bob Evans pulled me aside and then messaged me on Facebook, shout out to Uncle Bob if he's listening. But, they talk, all the time about, character development and everything. And those guys up there, up in Philly, really changed what Henry Shaw is now. Go back the next year, do the exact same thing, different gimmick. I got yeses this time.
Yeah.
I got the thumbs up from Steve Carino, and that right there was
Oh,
that was one of my
okay.
great things ever. And but we never got picked for anything. But I did see the last 2 times I was up there, I did see a lot of great wrestlers get signed. And then a lot of good things that I seen up there was a lot of these guys are in WWE now, and a lot of these guys are in AEW, TNA, you name it, they're everywhere. Japan, I saw a few guys that made it to Japan a couple years ago. Whatever. But but the thing is, man, I didn't know until I went and actually tried it out, because I said I can go up there, maybe I'll get signed. No, second time I went up there, I hope I get signed. Didn't, but I still learned something while I was up there. Henry Shaw became a better character because of that. But as of that, I would say that was probably my favorite time too. I've had a few favorite times, but that right there was the humbling time for me.
And it helped you become what you are today.
Exactly. If it hadn't been for Philadelphia, who knows what Henry Shaw would have been. He probably would still have been Bad Henry. That's what the name was at the time.
Bad Henry.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just what the name was at the time.
And you might not have ever become who you are because you would have been stuck thinking that you're good, but your gimmick doesn't match your persona, so you're basically in a rut.
Yep, exactly. Then even like the simplest moves, I thought, oh, I'm doing that right. Get up there. No, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it
Exactly.
absolutely wrong. Like a simple irate. You're selling it wrong. Why are you supposed to sell it this way? This makes sense. Why am I doing this wrong? You know,
Yeah.
and then you go up there and you see guys that also you see them guys get humbled bad.
A lot.
I've seen a lot of guys that just get into they got like arguments with some of the guys up there too. I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Like these guys are like, I'm a better wrestler than what you're saying I am. And they're like, why aren't you sitting here instead of in the ring? You know,
Yeah.
all that. But
Yeah.
you'll come across that too.
Yes, you will.
You'll come across that too. The cockiness, you know, it's in any sport you play. You come across the cockiness, but it seems like wrestling, there's a lot of it.
Exactly.
But sometimes they get humbled real fast. Depends on who they're in the ring with.
Thank you for tuning in, Anthony Presley.
Oh yeah, Anthony Presley's tuning in.
Yes,
What's
he
up,
is.
Anthony? Tony?
Another great guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know Tony?
I met him years ago. He probably doesn't remember me because I was a lot heavier then.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Hey, James Dean.
it was probably at one time I was probably about 440.
Really?
440 pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a lot. It was not in the early career. It was in the mid career. I guess you could say like 2000 something, 2008 or 9. But I knew him from a show. I don't know if he actually wrestled that show, but I think he was just hanging out. I can't remember what, but I mean, it's been so many shows years ago, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I know I've met him somewhere. We'll just
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Oh,
He
yeah.
really
Heard
is,
nothing but
man.
good things about him. Yeah.
He's come into this. First day when he's gonna come into the podcast.
What's
He's
up,
like,
James
I don't know if
Dean?
I'm gonna stay very long, and ended up staying the whole time. And then like he's been back he's been here 3 times,
Yeah.
and then he invites us to shows and brings some of his guys over here.
He's
and,
got a good thing going, that's for sure.
yeah,
Yes, he
yeah,
does.
he's a
Yeah,
great
he
guy. He really is.
And he's a great overall person.
Yeah.
And his gimmick was Scott Storm,
He
Yeah,
loves his
yeah.
kids. He brings his kids everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
world's best dad.
What's these guys talking about? MJF
Well-
is talking to Moxley in the ring.
It looks like we're getting that MJF versus John Moxley match.
What's going to happen with CM Punk? They end up getting a backstage brawl.
There's been a lot of hearsay. We don't know what really go on. All we know is that something happened. We know what happened during the press conference.
I've heard
We
that
just don't know
CM Punk
anything
got
else.
his pec muscle ripped, and I
I've
heard
heard
that was it one of the young bucks got a black eye from a chair. What did you hear?
There's like 2. I read a story about it today. Like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, like basically got hated over something he said at the press conference.
Yeah,
And you know,
he called him out on the press call. These
Something about-
EVPs are being children, and if you got anything to say to me, come to my face.
yeah. I mean,
So-
I guess it was a pipe bomb that exploded too fast or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I
said-
don't know, man. Like it's almost like there's been no problem in AEW until like Punk showed up, and like I don't know.
Yeah, that seems to happen. That like supposedly that happened back when Hogan joined TNA back in the day too. 'Cause,
Yep.
Who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
there's you can't believe anything anymore because there's so many sources going
Yep.
out there.
Uh-huh.
you know?
And half.
And
of
then
them
there
are
is
fakes.
still a possibility that it's a work.
yeah, it could be at work. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be at work.
Oh,
Oh.
they're taking their jackets off.
They're getting ready for it.
Oh, he take his watch off.
This is gonna be a great.
Has
match.
this happened before? Has this match happened before?
I'm trying to think. I think that maybe.
I don't
it
think I've
happened-
ever seen this match.
I don't think that I've ever seen it either. But if it happens, it's gonna be great. Really,
Shut up.
MJF, he can't get his hand free.
He had strong wrist.
Yes, that's great. That's the only reason why I love MJF, because he gets it.
Yeah, he's a worker, man. He knows how to like cut a promo. He knows how to run out of the ring. too. It's
MJF
like-
is proof that you don't need to do flashy stuff.
No.
You just need to make the crowd want to see you get your teeth knocked out.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So you pretty much babyface, run heel, or what?
Depends on where I'm at and what they
yeah?
need.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
I was always taught you work what they need.
Yeah.
You know, I will say that that being the secret. I've been mostly heel a lot because I think it's funnier.
Yeah. A lot of people, like everybody in here, is like, "Oh, I love being a heel." I love
Oh
being
yeah,
a heel.
I've done 1,000 camps. I've been to Jimmy Valiant's. I went to Jimmy Valiant's Boogie Woogie's camp one time, and he talked about the best way to do it was to find a target, pick on them, stay on them, And he's always said the funniest thing ever. Jimmy, Boogie's one of the funniest people ever. He said, find a little kid, a huge woman, or an old man. Find the target, stick with them, make fun of them. If they bite back. They don't, move on, go somebody else.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's usually easy to find those targets. Little kids are always easy. Nowadays it's you find out like if they're wearing T-shirts like something, you always make fun of what they're all like. Fortnite. One of the funniest things ever. I was in Somerset one night wrestling, and there's 10 kids on me. Boo, you suck, whatever. And this one kid had a T-shirt that said Fortnite right across the chest. And I got down out of the ring, I looked right at him dead serious and said, Fortnite sucks. And you could have thought I shot every one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear what he said? You hear what he said? And then then when you see the kids on their phones all the time, you're like, put that phone down, nerd, read a book, Yeah. And they get upset like, what?
That's the best kind, though,
exactly.
because it comes right to your mind,
Yeah.
right as you see what you're
yeah.
targeting.
I mean, like in East Kentucky, I've wrestled for Appalachian Mountain 1,000 times, Cal Maggart's promotion, thousands of times. And we were filming TV in Hazard one night, and I'm wrestling a legend, John Noble, who I'm wrestling that night. And I remember John Noble's music hits, and she had to be pushing at least 450 woman is clapping away and screaming, John's going to kill you, John's going to kill you. And then I don't know why I looked at her and just dead serious. I'm a big guy too. I ain't got no room to talk. But I said, diabetes is going to kill you faster. Well, her husband did not like that at all. But that comes with the territory. If you're going to dish it out to me, I'm going to dish it back.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not going to step on nobody's toes or anything like that. But if you dish it back, dish it to me, I'll dish it back.
They gotta expect that, because when you're dissing a heel, you better expect it to come back tenfold.
But nobody, there's a lot of people that love to dish it back to you and everything. But there's some that just do not get it. They hate your guts. They want to kill you, and all that. And the best ever, Jim Chadwick. When Jim Chadwick rolled, I love Jim, and I love the nicest man you'd ever meet. But he would get the crowd stirred up so much they wanted to kill him. And it's like, you worried they're going to meet us in the parking lot? And they did. I've been there when they're like, you talked about my mama. He's like, you know what a television show is, guys? Just get out here, And, Jim's like, he's like, get him, Henry. He's like, get him, Henry. He'd hide behind me, He shoved me in front of, like, get him, Henry.
He starts the shit, you had to take it up.
He would.
Exactly.
Like, get him, Henry. I'm sure Donnie Green knows what I'm talking about, because Donnie knows been there, too.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been there, with
Hey,
Jim,
I love Jim Chadwick. I never got
yeah.
to see him in person, but
Was you at the, did you come up for the tribute?
I didn't get to. I wanted to, but I didn't get to. I had something go on that weekend.
I was dressed like Jim Chadwick for the tribute show.
We one of the greatest things Jim ever did. We went to the Shriners Hospital one time for Gen X wrestling when Gen X was out of Bourbon, and we all show up, in t-shirt and jeans and everything, and Jim is the only one shows up in his, I think he had pink socks, a leopard.
Always had pink socks.
Yeah, that was the deal. That was the deal. He had a leopard print jacket, and he brought that kendo stick with him.
He always had that kendo stick.
I said, why in the world do you bring that here? He said, you never know, one of these little kids might try to go for my wallet.
He's so funny, man.
And then,
That sounds like it.
Yeah. I mean, these kids would see him, and they want to talk to the guy in those pink socks. That's what they would say. I want to talk to the guy in the pink socks.
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the nicest people. One of those guys you learn a lot from in the wrestling business. And I love that he loved to play ribs on rookies. I won't mention their names because it's funny. But we had two guys that were tag champs for MWA back in like 07 and 08 or something like that. And they were both brand new. But one of the things is you don't leave your title belt leaving out in the chair or anything like that. So every time that Jim would see it, we'd take them. We'd hide them, we'd take them, whatever, everything. And they would get ready to go out there into their music's hitting. Like, where's your titles at, boys? Where's your titles at? I actually think they actually walked out with them one time without them. And then, finally, they walked back in there. Come back in here. And look, God, Jim would chew them out. Because Jim was like the locker room general.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gosh. that was some good memories right there.
That's so funny. He was a funny guy.
He sure was. That's why I
He sure
dressed
was.
up like him.
Especially if you traveled with him, because he'd fall asleep no matter what. He'd be like, "Don't mess with me. I'm gonna sleep." I'll kill everybody in this car. I swear. Well,
What,
He was a character.
Yeah.
what about Bobby Blade? Did you have any?
Oh my gosh.
He was on the show like a couple months ago.
Yeah, a couple. I think it was a month ago or two.
Yeah.
Bobby Blade. Yeah, me and him we go way back. I love Bobby.
He's got a great YouTube channel, man.
yeah,
If
he
you
does.
check that out.
And what makes me jealous about him is every time he puts look at my new video games I got. Well, he's getting them old video games is what he's got. Or he'll show them pictures of like old G.I. Joe stuff. I grew up with that. And I was like, I had that. I actually commented on one of his pictures the other day. I had the command center, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's great, man.
Yeah.
He's so fun. We had him in here. He's the funniest the funniest stories. He's a great guy. He really is.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he blow up putting his boots on. I can say that because he did that a lot. I mean, putting his boots on, he's like, I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
Which we all done that when we get a certain age, everything. But that was a long time ago when Bobby did it.
Yeah.
That's right. And he had
Bobby's
the blade cutter.
Yeah, the leg cutter.
Yeah.
And then I never was when he was in that cheetah gimmick. I never was around him with that one, but
Simba.
Simba, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I remember
Simba.
seeing they made him do it one night on a promo. They made him dance to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, I wish I'd have been here to see that.
That would have been great.
Oh yeah.
So who'd you train with?
Okay, so I did what was called the non-traditional way,
Okay.
or free labor, is what we called it back in the day. What I did, I had a friend that was referee. He was from my hometown, and he was a referee for NWA Bluegrass. It's when NWA had the regional promotions around the United States and
Yeah.
everything.
That's what New South is. New South was New South Wrestling, in NWA New South Wrestling.
Yeah. So what happened was he came to. I knew him, and a buddy of mine that I lifted weights with. He said, "Yeah, you remember this guy that we went to school with? I was like, yeah, he's a referee." I said, "Well, I always knew he was going to do something with wrestling because this dude had a wrestling T-shirt on every time you saw him. You always seemed like talk about the Well, this was during the Attitude Era and all that stuff. But long story
Who's at
short,
the door?
I thought I heard somebody knocking or something like that.
It's them.
Who is it?
It's and you and
Tell them to quit. Go talk to them. Tell them to stop banging on the door like that.
They're interviewing. They're ruining my interview.
What the hell?
Tell them
Exactly.
tell them I have to pay to come in now. If he brings that title belt, he's going to have to defend it too.
Exactly.
But anyway, the buddy of mine, he refereed, is what he did, and we went to the show, and it was awesome. I forgot how much I hadn't been to a live event since the Smoky Mountain days.
Yeah.
I went and watched Smoky Mountain when they came to Paintsville, and he's talking about like, hey, he said, "You ever want to do this?" I said, "Man, I'd do anything to do this." He said, "Well, we're having tryouts." I said, "Well, I've got to do this. I've got to try this and everything."
Yeah.
So, long story short, the next show we went to, they had the Martin County Fair in Inez, and I helped set up the ring, and never realized how hard that was I never realized how heavy a ring was until you actually got to touch one.
yeah.
And this was a 18-foot high spots ring. If anybody knows what a high spots ring, those are the cream of the crop. Those are the best rings. It's my favorite of all time. So we set up the ring, and then it's like right before everybody gets there. It's under a big hot tent. It's like July, or not July, but it's August. I'm sorry. And one of the guys there, I didn't know him. One of the guys there said, "Here, hold out your arm." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Just hold out your arm." So I held up my arm like this right here, and he said, "All right, put the bend in it." And then he ran into it, and I clotheslined him. And when he fell down, and I felt that bump, this is what I want to do. I said, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
So what they made me do, the next show, they made me show me how to bump, how to run the ropes. And long story short, that was 18 years ago. And what we did instead of like paying for training, we set up the ring, set up the show, done whatever, tore down, set up. Sometimes I had to go to the promoter's house because some of the guys would cut out early. And like you had to like help him put it into the trail, his house and the garage and everything.
Yeah.
So I got good cahoots with him for a little while, and then I got my first match was a tag match in Belfry, and I was so nervous that I did everything that they told me to do, except pin the guy.
Yeah.
I clothesline like, yeah. And
What's
they're-
up,
and
Chaos?
He's like, what? He's like, man, just pit me. I didn't hear that because I'm
Yeah.
hearing the crowd roar and everything, and then finally I go to the back, and I'm like, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
There is nothing like that on earth.
So you kind of trained as you went.
Train as you go. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's probably what. I would say my early matches were absolute garbage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Look, thank God they wasn't filmed or anything like that.
Yeah.
If they were destroyed real fast.
Yeah, destroy that.
Or like if you saw like old videos of like myself, like just cringe, like, oh, I can't believe I did that.
man.
You know, like, why did I do that? That makes no sense. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
But that happens to this day too.
Speaking
you know?
of Bobby Blade, he's watching right now.
Oh, he ain't got nothing else to do. Is what it is.
What's up, Bobby Blade?
Hey, Bobby.
Not Jamal's favorite.
Oh, you know you are. You know you have to defend that title if you bring it in here, right?
Yeah, Hearing Shaw said, you bring that title, he wants to have a match right now
Let's go
in the
inside.
parking lot.
Let's go get some Subway first before we do that. You know?
Yeah, gotta eat.
Yeah, we gotta eat first. But if I blow up eating, you know, it means I'm out. So
That's right. And
So
if there's a DQ,
if you want to grab that mic over there, we'll hook it up for you.
Okay, where's
It's right over there. You see it? Just grab it. Every time you grab it. Yeah. It's heavy,
so
though.
tell me, Henry,
all right.
what would you say? Who do you want to work with and look forward to?
Like all time, or are you talking about like in the future?
like if there was
Or in the
anybody that you
future.
wanted to work with. Set it up here.
Well, we might be here till midnight and be thinking about it. I mean, honestly, I've
Like
been,
anybody, it's like if anybody that's on the pro TV or now, like pick a pro guy and pick a indie guy that you haven't got to work with yet.
okay, pro guy.
Near the end of that.
What?
Just the end of it. I need the cord.
Sorry.
Pro guy, that was probably. Oh, that's a tough one right there. There's so many that I'd like to.
Exactly.
Honestly, just to see what it would be like, I would work Kenny Omega in a heartbeat.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
hell yeah.
But I mean, he would absolutely destroy me.
yeah.
You know, I mean, but the good thing about it, because I know
He'd
how
probably adapt to your style though.
guaranteed. Well, he'd have to. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
He
exactly.
would try to
yeah.
one wing angel you though.
He'd have a hard time, but I'd post. But
Yeah.
but you know, yeah, Kenny Omega, that's one I like, I respect. But honestly, I ain't gonna lie. You know, somebody that does indies and he's actually pro, I'd work. Even though, you know, the same way, I would want to work somebody that would like try to move you up, you know,
Yeah.
all that stuff. You know, make you look good. I'm gonna try my best to make them look good too.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's all
That's
about
great.
that and everything. Indie wise, God, it's a hard one.
You probably worked with everybody close to here.
Yeah, a little bit.
How about Alex Zane? Have you worked him?
No, I've been on shows with him, but
Yeah.
I've not got to work him.
We're a big fan of Alex Zane.
I like him. I like what he does and everything.
Yeah, he's from Lexington, and we
I
haven't.
like his
See, I
whole
didn't know
gimmick.
that until someone told me that.
Yeah,
a while
and
back
actually, he
and
got
everything.
the first time. I think one of the first times, or he hadn't in a long time. He got to wrestle at New South Wrestling over at in Lexington, and he's
Yeah.
like, "This is the first time I've got to either the first time he got to wrestle in Lexington for a long time, or the first time he ever did. I don't
Yeah.
know, but you know, he's from Lexington, so
Yeah,
he's over in Japan like all the time.
yeah. I have a friend that I have wanted to wrestle so many times, but we've been on shows together. But it's a guy out of Georgia named Matt Sales, and I've run into Matt Sales. Like, I mean, I ran into him. You know, I met him up at Ring of Honor because he worked for Ring of Honor. Now he's back at home in Atlanta now.
Grab your
Grab
your drink and put it
that's
over here.
probably my indie drink at
drink.
least.
Put it over there.
My least indie dream would probably be Matt Sales, honestly. He'll probably think I'm a big mark. He'll probably text me later and call me a big mark is what he'll do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, there's so many that I would love, you know, to work. Matt's one of those guys that I think we'd have a blast with. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, he's the boozer weight is what his gimmick is, too. I mean, then you got, I don't know, probably, you know, I've always wanted to work Warhorse. I've always wanted to try to work him.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always wanted to work. I like
Oh,
his
that'd be
gimmick.
a great one.
I think that would be great. You know, Warhorse would be a good one. Because I've been at a show with him. I didn't even know it was him. And then I saw him getting
What's up,
gear and
Chris
everything,
Blade?
and then sure enough, I was like, oh, that's him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't know. My bad.
So Andrew Browning has joined us. What's up, Andrew?
What's going on, Andy? What's up,
I'm
Johnny?
good. Is it just you, or is there somebody else in the other room?
Yeah,
Jonathan's in the
yeah,
back.
there's-
We're
Oh,
at
Jonathan's in
we're
there
at
too?
Hot Tag, so
Okay.
something through Henry Shaw.
What's up,
He
buddy?
had to stop to get some Slim Jims.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep. Snap it to a Slim Jim.
Oh, that's funny.
What were you going to ask, Andy Joe?
I was gonna say, how are you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you doing?
Pretty good, even though I'm not your mom's favorite still. But
You don't say that when around people though.
Hey, Joe Hamlin.
oh, and I'm not giving you a sandwich either. So
Hey, that happened twice. So I mean, you still owe me a sandwich. I told I think it was in Georgetown a couple years ago, and I told a woman to make me a sandwich, and I'm not joking. Someone said, "Where's Shaw at?" It's like right here. It's a sandwich. I was
She
like,
brought you a sandwich.
This actually worked, you know. And then I remember the promoter's like, "This is your pay tonight." And I was like, "I don't care. It still worked, you know." I mean,
It's a
I'm the
damn
most.
good
I
sandwich.
said I'm the most over. That's all that matters.
Is Peyton calling tonight?
He should be.
Okay.
I'll have to tell him. Chris Blade said, when I get proper trainer, I would be honored to wrestle you.
Oh, he would. The honor would be somebody else's. I mean, that's I hate to disappoint him like that, but yeah,
Oh well.
I hate to get his dreams all the way up here and realize.
Yeah, his
this
head's
sucks.
about huge. Yeah, Chris's head's huge. He's a Special Olympic gold medalist. He has these.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's his medal right there.
Oh, cool.
Special Olympic softball. I
Oh,
think that
cool.
was.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a big.
Oh,
Special
Olympic.
Olympic
Thank you for your 200 stars,
Who's
Joe
that?
Hamlin.
Oh yeah, somebody sent us
Nice.
some stars. Thanks, guys. And by the way, if you're out there and you love the show and you want to tip us on Facebook,
Go.
send us some stars, man. Send us some stars.
yep.
Should I put my PayPal in here? That way they can send me money. Is that
Yeah,
what
put your PayPal on there. We need to do that. We're monetized on Facebook, so Facebook gives us a little bit of money, but
Expect a call from Peyton Bowman a little bit earlier than 9.
okay.
It's almost his bedtime. That's why.
Yeah, so he has a little segment on here. He has a little segment on here that he calls, and he told us about y'all's show. He called last Wednesday and told us about y'all's last show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us what's going on in Allied Pro Wrestling.
So we had our third show this past August 27th down in Corbin at the Corbin Civic Center. If you've not been down to Corbin Civic Center, come.
I heard that
Yeah.
place is outrageous. I heard it's awesome.
It is. It is. It's an old building, but it's like it's made for wrestling. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah.
I think it'll hold. I think they said it could hold 600, almost to 1,000, depending on
What's up, Austin Michaels?
whatever you could get in there. We never did get all the chairs out.
Wow,
and all that
okay.
stuff,
Man,
but you like Corbin was always a hotbed for
Yeah.
wrestling. Because they have the Corbin Arena down the road that WWE's been there a couple times. So anyway, what I wanted Corbin for, because I've wrestled in Corbin for multiple promotions, and a couple of those promotions have been there at the Corbin Civic Center
Yeah.
years ago, and they draw really, really, really well.
Yeah, Zodi said he really liked wrestling there.
Yeah,
It was one of
yeah.
his favorite places to wrestle.
I think WF used to wrestle there years ago.
Yeah.
Great
TSW wrestled there a couple times. There's a few others that's been there that I know that's been around there. But it's just it's down the road from where I live. There's a lot of guys that wrestle for me that live in that area, so it seemed like a win-win kind
Yeah.
of deal. But other places we're trying to get. All around Central Kentucky. Like, I know there's no territories or anything, but I'm still one of those guys that I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah,
Bobby
exactly.
Blade said Corbin is great. I worked there a lot for PWF.
That PWF, okay, maybe that's what I'm sorry. PWF. But like I don't want to go, like, if somebody's running the same town, I'm not going to run their town.
Yeah.
I'll go respectful and all that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I would love, I'd love to see, like, to where maybe I had an idea once that, like, which friends of mine, the Waddells, WWA did the Kentucky Classic.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that again. I'd love to see every promotion in Kentucky do a deal like that once.
Well, you had Anthony Presley. He got Generation Next Pro Wrestling and Kentucky Elite and New South at the last pay-per-view. And
Yeah.
they all came in together.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see that because back when when I started, there was a lot of promotions hated each other.
Yeah.
And they would, you wouldn't believe how many times places try to sabotage
Yeah.
other places. And I hated that.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not
know,
cool because
yeah.
we can all work together and put each other over
Yeah.
and put we put over all the promotions. We
Yeah.
try to like be a part of all the promotions, and we even try to reach out to OVW too a little
Yeah.
bit, and so New South, OVW, Generation Next, Pro Wrestling, Kentucky Elite. You guys, TSW, we're learning. We're learning.
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're trying. I love that. There's more wrestling now. There's more wrestling in Kentucky nowadays than they have been past couple years.
Somebody's calling. I want to see who this is. Hello, you're on the. Oh. Well, hold on. Call me. Yeah, call me right back. Okay, hold on. I don't think that might have been Peyton.
You know what happens.
Sometimes technical difficulties.
Yep.
Yep. It's because Slicky J in back there forgot to bring the Slim Jims.
I made a Slim Jim one time in my life when I was about 8 years old. It made me sick. I haven't touched it since.
Unknown caller.
There we go. You're on the podcast.
Everything good?
Yeah, good. What's up, Peyton?
Sweet. Just calling in a little early. I've got a fantasy football draft in less than 20 minutes.
Don't
so
lie. It's your bedtime. Don't lie about
We
that.
got Henry Shaw here. You know this guy?
I'm very familiar with my mom's favorite.
That's right.
So everybody, if y'all don't know, that Peyton Bowman usually calls in at 9:00 every Wednesday, and he's been late one time, and now he's been early. So he don't get the message or something. I don't know.
That's just me.
I'm just messing with you, man. What's been going on with you?
This past weekend, I was not out anywhere refereeing at a church event, so that was going on last weekend. But this weekend, I'm going to be in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and Grimsley, Tennessee.
Okay.
So that's so this Friday, I'm going to be at Paradigm Pro Wrestling, Staying Alive at the famous Jeffersonville Arena. If you are free on a Friday, it would be a great show to go to. MLW stars Myron Reed and Alex Kane are going to be in action. A Deadlock Pro Wrestling star Chase Holiday is going to be in action. Ring of Honor star O'Shea Edwards is going to be in action. Trey Lamar, Kerry Awful, Big B, Shug D is going to be defending his PBW Heavyweight Championship against Lobo Okami. So that'll be a good show. And also Louisville's own Billy Stark is going to be in action. So
awesome, man. That sounds like
awesome.
fun. And that's Paradigm, right?
Yep.
Paradigm Pro Wrestling in Jeffersonville, Indiana, just right outside of Louisville. So if you're looking for a good, fast-paced wrestling show to go to, that will be a great show to go to.
And then you're going down to Tennessee, right?
Yes. The next day, Saturday, September the 10th, I'm going to be at Revolutionary Wrestling Alliance's Larry Cooter's birthday bash. That's going to be at the 127 Performing Arts Center in Grimsley, Tennessee. The main event is going to be a country whipping match with the shot callers Adrian Alexander and no good Jacob Ratliff taking on the Tennessee Assault Crew and Larry Cooter and Uncle Biff. That'll be a big time match. GCW Game Changer Wrestling star Shane Mercer, also one of Kentucky's own, is going to be in action against Dallas Troy. OVW star Cash Flow, a Kentucky wrestling legend, is going to be wrestling against Caleb Courageous. And the Revolutionary title is going to be put on the line in a triple threat match with Brandon Young, Andy Optimal, and Chris Hensley. And Duke Jimmy is going to be issuing an open challenge for his heavyweight title. And Brandon Watley is also going to be in action. So that's what's going on this Saturday in Grimsley, Tennessee. That's a little bit of a drive for us in Kentucky. But if you cannot make it the drive to Grimsley, I highly suggest everybody going to Central City, Kentucky this Saturday at the Central City National Guard Armory for the World Wrestling Alliance's Over the Top show. It's going to be Kentucky's biggest battle royal and it's going to be for the WWA Championship. Nick Depp is putting his belt on the line. I guess he's being forced to put his belt on the line. But it'll be an awesome show here in Kentucky this Saturday if you can't make it to Crimson, Tennessee. So that is I cannot suggest the Waddell's WWA anymore. So.
Awesome.
So you was at the Allied Pro Wrestling match here, the promotion last on the 27th, right?
I was, and many things happened at that show. That was or I guess one unfortunate thing happened at that show. Henry Shaw and Mr. Shaw can talk about that. I talked about the last show, but did you go out there to help me out? Henry, I can't remember.
I did, and you shoved me around. And you're like, "Get off me! I can't see, but I can't see. But you get up. Where do I go?" But yeah.
That's right. He got sprayed in the face with the Prophet's mist.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Apparently he didn't.
Yeah.
Prophet didn't like what he was counting too slow, and I guess Prophet just spit in his face and got mad.
Yeah, it was. I was trying to get some water for my eyes. That's why I'm asking. I didn't know if you were out there or not. I couldn't see you.
Yeah,
so.
we were trying to wash his eyes out, and he ran out the back door and fell in the ditch for some reason. He kept
Yeah,
running, and he lost his feet. He lost his footing and fell. And then he was just laying there with a towel over his face, and I was like, "He's fine."
Oh
This
man!
is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what exactly.
Peyton lives a wild life. Peyton does.
Yes, he does. Thank you for
It
tuning
is-
in, Daphne
it is
Purcell.
Well, Peyton, we're gonna let you go. Get to your NFL draft. What is it?
Bedtime.
The bedtime. He said, Henry says.
Fantasy football draft, then bedtime.
Okay.
He's going to do an auto draft, then go to bed. Is what he's going to do.
Hey, well, thanks again, Peyton, for calling in, and maybe next week you'll be on time.
I will try my best,
Probably
Mr.
not.
Andrew.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It's okay. We're gonna say random. We're gonna call your segment random with Peyton Bowman.
You never know. You ought to gotta stay on your toes.
I know, right? I mean, we appreciate you letting us know what you're doing and what's going on, man. And you're out there at the shows, and the shows that we can't get to, and we appreciate you calling in, buddy.
Sure do.
I appreciate you guys giving me the time.
All right, buddy. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you guys.
See you,
See you, Henry.
See ya.
Say, bro.
That was referee Peyton Bowman. He's at the shows, so that's him. That's his take.
And now he's gone to bed.
He's probably got like pajamas on with a nightcap with the dealio over top of it. And everything.
That's probably what
That's
he
kind of
was.
like
He's probably laying there like this.
Yeah, he's probably half asleep with the phone up to his ear.
He said, "Can I call in earlier because I got my nappy time?"
He's already had his warm milk and he's already ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So,
He's a heck of a guy. He's actually came on the show, and then he knows, he's got so much knowledge about the shows. So
He can wear many hats in this industry.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
That's right.
Yeah.
he's going to be
many
more
hats.
than a ref in this industry
Oh,
at some
definitely.
point.
Yeah, definitely.
so Henry, you ready for NFL season coming up soon?
When the one thing I hate about the NFL, it's not early enough. Like I'm thinking, like, oh, real, it's NFL time. Wait, this is preseason, and this kills me because you're trying to watch. Like, oh, why they trade? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Why, I thought the starting guy was this guy. Oh, it's preseason. I forgot.
Exactly. Well, they have like three preseason games now?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it 3? It used to be 4.
Yeah.
I think it's next Sunday.
It might be 5 now, I guess.
Oh no.
Yeah. I
Go
mean,
Eagles.
but the thing is, I grew up playing football
Yeah.
all my life, and then I always look forward to NFL in college, especially college. But it's just. But the thing is about wrestling, it's all the time, year round, and
That's right.
But
There's no seasons in wrestling.
no, there's not, and that's what makes you an old man real fast.
Yeah.
Because I've been nonstop. Probably, I haven't took a break. Well, I mean, just I've not as wrestled as much as I have in the past. Like in 07, I missed maybe 2 weekends in 07.
Wow.
And some of those were at least 3 and 4 days a week.
Yeah.
One of them was because of the weather. It was wintertime. And the other one was because I was too banged up from wrestling 3 days that week. And I was like, I can't go in. I'm sore. I can't move.
Yeah.
And but other than that, like 07, 08, 06 was a lot. It slowed down a little bit in 09 and 10,
Yeah.
and then started picking back up like full time, like in 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Especially in 13, and that's when I went back full time.
Well, you say it bangs you up, but it probably keeps you in shape too.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Like I used to be a lot heavier than what I am now. I let myself go. I'll say it. My liver went bad back in 09, 2010, where
Yeah.
I couldn't lose weight. I was gaining everything I ate.
Yeah.
And I had I had some medical issues where I had to back off from wrestling because I was just gaining so much weight. I would look at food and gain it.
Yeah.
And I got up to about 440, 450 almost.
Wow, that's a big guy.
Yeah, a 450-pound guy in a ring, that's hard to move around, especially when you're used to being 270, 280, moving around real good, and then you're like, I'm dying here. I can't do this.
But you had that exercise too, and that probably kept you alive
Honestly,
doing that.
Yes, that was the fight you had to do because I missed it too bad. I only got to wrestle those years. I only got to wrestle like 3 or 4 times that year, and I missed it. Like it was killing me that I was seeing buddies, going here and going there.
Yeah.
And like I seeing like friends of mine that I started with, and they've got like 10 bookings in like 2 weeks, and I was like, man, I missed that.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that
Yeah.
anymore?
So what's your secret? You look great now.
You look great.
Yeah. Well, I want to say this. This will be a study session for the young kids.
Yeah.
Hit that gym as much as possible.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Yep.
Cardio is your friend, even though they always say a lifter's enemy is cardio. Cardio is your friend.
Yeah.
Eat right the best way you can. Now, granted, I don't eat right all the time. If it's fried or sugar-fied, I eat it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Hell yeah.
That's what I can't do. I can't eat sugar anymore, man. The sugar's killing me.
See, like friends of mine who are outside the wrestling industry don't get it why I like gas stations as much as I do, because when you leave shows at 10, 11 at night, what's open?
Gas station.
Gas stations or Waffle House. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you go up to the north, everybody knows, like, a lot of people know this, like, if you go to the northeast, it's Wawa's and Sheets. Like, you hit those, like, I dream about Wawa's coffee. I could drink Wawa's coffee. And then you go down south, it's Buc-ee's, which we got a Buc-ee's in Richmond, not too far from the house.
Oh, yeah.
But
I haven't been there yet, but I've heard about it. I haven't got to be there yet.
I have a story to tell you. So the last show, I had 3 guys come down from Ohio, and they had to go past Buc-ee's to get to Corbin. They stopped at Buc-ee's on the way down.
Okay.
One of them
got lost.
Yeah. They actually stopped at the Cracker Barrel and Buc-ee's is what they did. They want to get the whole wrestling experience.
Yeah.
So one of the wrestlers, Justin Xavier, says, I spent $30 at Buc-ee's. I was like, what'd you buy? Buttons.
Oh, man.
And then on the way back, they stopped again on the way home, and then Carson Drake tells me, he said, man, I bought 2 brisket sandwiches. I said, you bought 2? Yeah. He said, I'm so full, but it's so great.
Yeah.
But like I'll tell everybody else, you got to hit Buc-ee's on the way down.
Yeah, I haven't got to get down there yet.
We need
Yeah,
to.
like when I first went to Philadelphia, I went to Sheets because right when you get on, I can't remember the town that you get on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, but when you get on that road right before that is the Sheets, and I had to get gas. Thank God I had to get gas, and I went in the Sheets and I was like, what is this? This smell? There's made to order food, and like back
I've
home,
never been to
my God.
Sheets.
The nearest one is in Huntington.
Okay.
If you ever get a chance, there's about.
Is it like a Buc-ee's, I guess?
It is a okay. There's nothing like a Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like Buc-ee's is its own.
I've been to the
entity.
Buc-ee's in Houston.
Yeah. The Buc-ee's that I think I went to a Buc-ee's in Alabama. It was an older one, smaller. It was smaller.
Yeah.
I think it was Buc-ee's. I'm pretty sure it goes.
Yeah.
But it was that Sheets and Wawa are made to order food and then make the coffee. I'm a big coffee man.
Yeah.
And like I went to New Jersey to wrestle one time for 3 days.
Jeez.
And I'm not joking. I was there for 3 days, and I ate, your 3 meals. We'll say you had 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
I ate twice in 3 days at restaurants. The rest were at Wawa. Not joking. And I'm not ashamed of that either, because it was made to order breakfast. You'd walk in, you're like, oh, what's that smell?
Yeah.
You give me the sausage, egg, and a croissant and a coffee, and you're like, and like you get to the place where you're going, you're like, oh man, you went to the wall. I was like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why didn't you bring me something?
Yeah, then they're like, we're going for lunch. I was like, okay, you know.
And
then
dinner too.
And then oh yeah, dead serious. You know, like it was awesome. But I think the time I went to Jersey, I actually went across the way to Philadelphia to get me a Philly cheesesteak in Philly. And that was the second meal that I had, you know, in there because you got to do that.
Was it worth it? Was it worth going?
Are you talking about the Philly or Wawa?
The Philly.
Oh yeah. So when I went to Ring of Honor back in 2015, one of the guys up there that I wrestled, actually, you know, he was on Ring of Honor for a while, was Shaheem Ali. He's from Philly.
Yeah.
So I asked him straight up one day. I said, "Hey, brother, let me ask you a question." He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "Where's the best place to get a Philly in town?" He said, "For you tourists." I said, No. I said, "The hole in the wall that only you locals know about."
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, "Man, you got to go to Phillips down in the South Harbor."
Okay.
And I said, "Okay." So I went down to the South Harbor, and this is like half ghetto, but half like it's like an Italian town. I mean, there's you know all that, and so I'm sitting there at a picnic table, and I'm looking. That looks kind of familiar. The street down the way, and I texted him. I said, "Hey man, where am I at?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Cause I don't know anything about Philly." He said, "Brother, you're where Rocky was filmed."
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
it's like he ran that street. I was like,
Oh wow.
so guess what we drove down?
Yeah. This is where Rocky.
And I tried.
Y'all didn't run it. Y'all drove
I
it.
tried to get one of the guy to get out and run. No,
That would have been great.
yeah. But then he's like, when we went back to Ring of Honor the next day, he said, "You go by the ECW arena?" I said, well, "Where was it?" He said, "You were probably maybe 3 blocks from it."
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
So I didn't get to, and then we went on the way home. I stopped by it, you know, 2300 arena.
Yeah.
Just sat there. I was like, man, I'd love to wrestle there one
Yeah.
day. But
Yeah. Are they still doing shows up there?
yeah,
Who's doing shows there now?
the Monster Factory ran a show there a while back. There's
Okay.
a couple of local indie guys that run there. Ring of Honor used to run there a lot.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some good shows there run there. But I think, you know, the arena shut down for a couple of years. It was like a storage house.
Dang.
And then they rented it out for like, I think somebody said they did a wedding there.
Oh,
no
wow.
joke.
Yeah.
But you didn't, like, you see pictures of it, you're like, this is not the arena. You know,
Yeah,
but the only way you can recognize those poles, like, yeah, okay, that's the arena.
You've mentioned Ring of Honor a lot, so you must be a real big fan. What
I
do you
love Ring.
What do you think about Tony buying it?
Honestly, I wish it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends that wrestle for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger, you know, good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I don't, you know, they
Where's
don't,
he wrestle from now? Is he still wrestling?
He does. He did an Iron Man match with Bob Evans last week at his academy.
Okay.
Great wrestler.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Cheeseburger, good dude, man.
Those guys around close to here, or are they?
No, they're out of Philadelphia. And,
Okay.
and Bristol is, I think, where Ring of Honor's old school used to be. But no, that was one of those. That was a goal, was to wrestle for them. And you know, I got to try out for them, but I never actually got to do the event.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
close, but never got to actually do it. Like the goal is, I've never got to wrestle for any of the big companies. The biggest company I could say I wrestled for, I've wrestled for OVW twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
I've done
OVW, shout out.
I did Heartland when Les Thatcher owned it, and then Cody Hawk took over. I wrestled for Heartland up there. A couple other, like I did NWA Tri-State, because NWA Tri-State
Thanks for tuning in, Anthony Walker.
was big in West Virginia, and I got to wrestle for them back in 2006, and that was a lot of fun. Couple places, you know, here and there, but you know, I never crossed over because I never got to, you know, do that. You know, the what do they call it, the enhancement deal or anything like that. You know, I had a job that heartbeat somebody on WWE or anything like that. I'd like to do it one time before I hang it up. You know,
It'd be great.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I'm on my downhill because I'm getting old, and my knees are telling me that every day. But you know, I'd love to do it. You know, one time just to say I did it.
Everyone has always had that one time
Oh,
where
yeah.
they got to be an enhancement talent
Yep.
and look good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've got friends that do it all the time. You know, I got a friend down in Georgia that does it every time that WWE comes around. But he's been on NXT a few times.
Hell yeah.
On that, you know, just doing matches and everything. I mean, it's great.
That reminds me of last week's Raw. Danny Moe and Kayla Sparks and
everybody
Yeah.
talking
Katie
about it
Arquette
online.
got to be on there.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I love seeing people like who
They kept
get on
on.
there. And everything.
Me
Like,
too.
Yeah.
They kept on talking about her a lot.
That's like Mickey Myers. He was on the AEW
Yep.
as security guard and then
Yeah.
had his match.
Two guys that I met in Jersey was the Pillars of Destiny, and they were on AEW one time, and I remember they shared it, and I was like, man, I worked those guys. Those guys are awesome, and I was so happy. I love it. See, a lot of I've got non-wrestling friends that said, do you ever get jealous of anybody making it? No, absolutely not.
Oh, that would be that.
No,
that would
you
be-
never get jealous.
Exactly.
Like I told, when me and Crash Jackson used to team for years together. And then he moved to Ohio a couple years ago and started wrestling other places. Like he started going with like some big names and everything.
Yeah.
And like I told him, I said, you ever get that opportunity and you have to leave, go. Don't leave me behind, because I know what I want with my career. I know what I'm doing, whatever. But I told him, I said, man, you reach the stars. And I mean, look at him. He's worked all these big places. He was working in Chicago just a couple weeks ago.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, just it's things like that. I love when they see him on there and everything. He wrestled for Impact twice, maybe 3 times maybe. But I mean, just little things like that. And he's worked some big names here and there and everything. They're doing a lot of things up there for Wrestle Revolver, and he's on that show a lot. And they're doing some big things now in Iowa and Dayton. Them everything. But so I mean, I'm glad. I love when I see people make it and actually get signed or just do the enhancement deal.
I would too, because wrestling is growing.
Oh yeah.
And why would you be mad that a wrestler's getting over? Because if he's getting over, you're getting over.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Yep.
it's
Yeah,
always
exactly.
good.
Yeah.
So-
You just do what you can do, and I'd love to wrestle for the NWA, the now NWA. I'd love to go down there because I've got friends down there too.
That'd be
And,
great.
I mean, I love what they're doing down there. I love their setup and everything. So I mean, that'd be
Larry
great.
D and Max Sled recently were there.
See, that's one that, I've known Larry for years. Max and Larry, for years.
Max is so funny.
Oh,
Max is hilarious, and they got that podcast now, and
Yep.
he is so good on it.
listen, I've known that Max for years. Especially in the back, just joking and ribbing and everything. I mean, every time you see him, your sides is hurting. You're laughing so much. Some of the things he's saying.
He is hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's definitely hilarious.
And he knows how to work a crowd, and he's
Yep.
just funny, man. He's just funny.
When I met Max, he was just announcing for MWA, and then one day, we had a show in Frankfurt, and I'm wrestling him, and I said, "You wrestle?" And he goes, "Brother, when they let me." But we had a blast. It was absolutely a blast. That was many, many years ago.
I
too.
believe it too, because
Yeah.
he is a hoot.
Definitely is.
He had to face Misery, and you know what he called him? He called him Kane. he said, I got to face Kane. You still sore over that Katie Vick story? And they tried to.
He is hilarious, man.
Yeah.
He came out there at the New South show and just worked the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, they were laughing. They were having a hell of a time. And he ended up getting slaughtered by Misery, but jeez, he had a hell of a time.
I'm sure he did. He made anybody. He makes anybody look like a meme.
Have you caught their podcast?
I've caught one, and I like caught them being up because I had to be at work the next day.
Yeah,
Where,
they do a great show down at Legends, Larry's Legends Bar and
Oh
Events.
yeah, definitely.
Bar Brawl
do.
4 is coming up,
Yeah.
and
Hell yeah, it
it's
is.
going to be a 2-night event this time, and they do a hell of a show
Oh,
down there.
yeah.
We go down there and we have a great time. Larry lets us film some of their stuff, and it's just we try to put them over. We try to promote them down there. And,
That's two great assets to Kentucky wrestling right there.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
they're
it's
great
great.
guys. They really are. And they'll clown with you, and
Yeah.
they'll fun with you.
Yeah.
And
And just think, before that, Kentucky barely was getting treated like it had good wrestling.
We had a bad reputation for a long time.
those guys down there,
Exactly.
Gen Next, have I think they've figured it out. They
Yes,
figured
they
out
have.
what to do, because like their sound is great. They put the wrestling ring right in the bar and
Oh yeah.
selling drinks and they figured it out.
They figured it out. They did. They definitely figured it out. I've worked for them a few times, and it's always been a blast every
Yeah.
time. I've not had one complaint about it and everything. Of course, we worked that show down in London where Luke Gallows was down there.
Yeah,
I got to
yeah.
work that one.
Yep.
I was
That
gonna.
was one of my favorites all time matches ever.
What would you say, Andrew?
I didn't want to interrupt here right there, but what you think about the street fight? You
Look.
kind of got tossed over there a little bit in that trash
Listen,
can.
You got put in the trash can, Henry?
Max turned a trash can over on me, and I knew what was in it because it's London.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know what's in there. And he turned it over on me, and there's nothing but amber and tobacco and spit and everything.
Oh my
He
God!
goes, "Here you go, brother. Take out the trash." And when he hits me with that, I was like, "God, you're getting a receipt." And sure enough, he was laying there. We're I hate to tell this, but I can't help it. But he's laying there. He's like, "Oh," and I get a chair and I go, "Receipt!" Bam! And I'm right on his back. He said, "I thought my head popped off." And I said, "I didn't hit you that hard." He said, "No, you shot on me. I know you did." But man, that was so much fun. I mean, it was so much fun. And,
I hate to say it, I kind of laughed at that we got on that trash can there.
There's a lot of people laughed at that. But yeah, I didn't laugh at that when I had to clean my gear, brand new gear that I just got this year.
Especially if it smells.
Oh gosh.
Oh wow!
So I learned years ago. I keep at least 3 or 4 gimmicks in the bag at all times.
Yeah.
I learned years ago, get those vacuum bags. Here's a fun fact for you new guys. So if you have multiple gimmicks and you wrestle one night, so when you put a sweaty gimmick in your bag, what's going to happen to the rest of them? They're going to get sweaty and nasty and everything. You get a those zip bags that you can vacuum out, or those, they call them travel bags, I think is what they call them. So you get those travel bags and you push all the air out. Look, you got 3 gimmicks that are still clean, 1 dirty. Wash that one, then you put it back, and you got 4.
Thanks for tuning in, Paul Colgrove.
I learned that from
That's
Crash
my
Jackson.
nephew. Who else was that? Anthony Walker?
Yep.
Hey,
Anthony
bud.
Walker, too. I called him out.
Oh, my fault.
That's fine.
I think Anthony Walker is the guy that I work with. What's up, Anthony? What's up, Tony?
But yeah, you're right.
What's up, Jonathan?
Surprise.
What's up, Slicky?
Yeah.
Slicky, one of the slicksters is here.
Them
Jonathan.
Slim Jims
Jonathan
now.
Lang. You know,
yeah, Mr. Hexor, the night house, yeah. On YouTube, yeah.
There's always someone that can do Macho Man no matter where
yeah,
you go.
dude, Dusty Rhodes.
Hey, how you doing?
He's got the gayest Dusty Rhodes ever.
He's also got Drew McIntyre.
Dude, Drew McIntyre.
Gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while. Okay. All right, we're gonna pitch you too much
But
on
you're
the
right,
spot.
Henry. You gotta make sure that your gear does not get sweaty.
Well, you got to make sure that you got a guy that can do the Macho Man too, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, there's always
That's
somebody.
true.
There's
Him
either
being from
some-
Lexington, you got any Macho Man stories? A little bit before your time, but you've heard anything?
Well, see, when ICW came to my hometown, my dad went
Yeah.
when they went to the community center, and Macho was doing the gimmick to where he brought out the hairspray, and he's doing the hairspray wide open. And
Yeah.
he's telling everybody he's going to punch him in the face. Of course, they're eating it up and everything. And he's doing the hairspray, and he's getting in the ring. I don't remember who Dad said he was wrestling, but he's doing the hairspray, and someone runs up and hits a light
Oh my God!
and sets his hair on fire.
Oh my God!
And I remember the guy that done it was like real short. That's how I remember. The guy's still around my back home. And Macho chases him outside. I think the cops get called and said there's a half-naked man running downtown chasing after another man. And I don't know if the cops saw it. It was Macho Man. Like, oh, I'm not doing that. And drove away.
That's Macho Man
But
for
he
you.
set his hair on fire. And
I'd love to, like, since Macho Man was wrestling around here, I'd love to some way get like a Macho Man statue put in Lexington, Kentucky.
that would be gold.
Yeah.
right
Would
there.
be.
So I've been like telling everybody about that. I would love to get that done. At
You
some
know,
point.
my dad shared a jail cell with Randy Savage right before he became big.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Hey.
know. A lot of people didn't know that he tried out for the Cincinnati Reds too and made
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Made the minor
yeah,
league deal and everything. So
yeah. He was a great baseball player.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, he
I never
was.
got to meet him, but I got to meet Leap and Lanny at a show one time. Man, that guy told some great stories about
Yeah, I
him and
bet. I
everything.
bet he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
1,000 great stories
Oh,
about
yeah.
Macho Man, or even himself.
That's one of my favorite things about when you go to these shows, and like some of these old timers will still be around. Like Hacksaw Jim Duggan told one of the greatest stories ever about when they found Damien dead. When him and Jake the Snake found Damien dead.
Oh, the
Oh,
snake,
he,
yeah.
He froze to death on the 2x4.
Oh wow.
Oh, man.
He
I
said it was
love
cold in
hearing
New Jersey or something like that.
Golden New Jersey.
I love hearing these stories.
But
about it.
Ricky Morton's one of my all-time favorites. Being in a locker room with.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Hacksaw because I think he's battling cancer right now. And
He's cancer free.
is he?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah, he's cancer free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for
Well,
you, Hacksaw.
Yeah. Shout out to
I've been
Hacksaw.
I've been in a few shows with him, and I was at an airport in Orlando North Carolina a while back, and I seen on his Instagram he was in the same airport. And my wife's like, "Are you gonna go search for him?" I was like, am I that guy? You know,
Yeah.
Hacksaw, you know.
Hacksaw, what are you at?
Yeah. He's like, who's this guy? Who's this Mark looking for me?
All you had to do was scream, ho!
So a funny story about he came to Inez one year in 2011, wrestled for NWA Bluegrass, and went to the local hardware store to get a 2x4. But the kid behind the counter, like he said, he walked in. The kid behind the counter was like,
Yeah.
he said, "Got you 2x4s?" Yeah. I don't know if we heard that he signed one, and that probably didn't make it charge him or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But one thing I do remember about it though, he didn't trust phones about GPS and everything. He had the Road Atlas, and that was the last time I ever saw that was someone had the Road Atlas. He said, "I don't trust phones; they get you lost. These won't get you lost." And I was like, "Okay," you know, because he was trying to go home after that and everything.
Well, that's funny, man. That's
That is
great.
funny
Yeah.
because I love hearing these stories because it's a rare opportunity for you to learn from them, but also an opportunity to actually sit underneath their tree
Yeah.
and find a story that actually is funny.
Yeah. Well, Ricky Morton told a story one time. Ricky told lots of stories. You know, one of my favorites he did, like, I was looking, you know, you always work those shows that have a lot of people, and then you always work those shows that don't have anybody at all. I can't remember where we were at, and I peeked through the curtain, and they may have been 15 people out there.
Yeah.
And he said, how's the crowd looking? And I said, pretty small. He said, you know, one time I worked a crowd in Nashville, it was so small you could throw a hand grenade, it wouldn't kill nobody.
Oh wow, Adam Page just came out. I heard that he got fired or was leaving.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Well, I guess that's not true. I guess that was a rumor,
I guess
huh?
that was false.
Adam Page is back out there. Oh, he's looking at that title like he wants that title.
After it.
I guess the title's back up again, huh?
Yep,
Yep,
because
it
CM
is.
Punk got stripped.
Did he get stripped?
Yep. That's
Yep,
why
he
they're doing a
deserved it.
tournament.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's why they're doing.
Because
a
we didn't
tournament.
listen to it. We just so tell us what they said.
Yeah, all I know is that he was CM Punk got stripped of the title.
Okay, cool, awesome. Did the
And
Young
he
Bucks
he
and
tore his pec too. He's gonna be out for a long time.
the Young Bucks and
they got suspended.
Kenny Omega got
Yeah,
suspended?
that's why they're not in Buffalo right now.
Okay, cool.
So I guess it served them right. Right.
Tell
Jonathan
me,
Lang with the
Yeah.
AEW scoop.
That's
There we
right.
go. And Thunder
So
Rosa
here you-
is out of there, and Black is out of there too. They asked for their release.
Really?
Yeah,
Malachi
Thunder
Black
Rosa
did?
said, "See ya, adios. I
That's
want,
right.
I want to get out of there."
Okay.
That
So
happens sometimes.
maybe
That
maybe
does.
things will clear up on here. Maybe things.
Sean John's gonna be missing his former wife, right?
That's my wife. Too.
Oh, your former wife. Or
Yeah, well,
Filipinos.
maybe things will straighten up around AEW now since
Yep.
you know
CM Punk's gonna be
since
taking a
CM Punk
long-
came, it was just like chaos. I don't know who was the fault with that, but everything seemed going crazy over there.
Did he tear his pectoral in the match, or did he tear it in the back?
Yeah,
In the back, I
In
Yeah,
think.
he tore
at
the
the
back?
fight,
Yeah,
at
when
the
the-
fight,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't hear that
fighting
part.
those young bucks,
Yeah.
yeah, at the
throwing
fight.
them chairs around.
So tell me, Henry, where do you see yourself in 5 years with Allied Pro Wrestling?
In 5 years,
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a pretty new wrestling organization, right?
we started this January, and
Yeah.
actually our first show was in April. We've had an April, July, and August show so far.
Okay.
In 5 years, I'm hoping to at least see it once a month, because I'd love to wrestle, you know, if I had the time and energy for it, but I'd love to do it, you know, multiple times, you know, to get it to where we can do it every weekend or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But man,
I think
know-
every weekend may be too much.
yeah.
I think once a month is good for a promotion.
You see, I wrestled at places that wrestled every week, and the crowds got smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. But you know, I see it as, you know, just I don't, you know, like I want to be the biggest, baddest promotion of all. No, I don't see that at all. I
No.
want to be a promotion that everybody wants to work for.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what I
right.
like. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, there have been a lot of people. Which I've gotten message a lot. People back. There's so many messages. Like when I announced that we were going live April of this year, I had people message me out of everywhere. Like, hey, can I get a booking? You know, which I mean, respectfully, that's, you know, they're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Now I did get some like, hey, I'm gonna show up. You're just gonna, I'll do whatever you need. And I was like, listen, I've got a full stack card. Don't do that. You
Yeah.
can come hang out, but I didn't know.
Come out,
but, you know,
man.
you came hang out, but don't demand.
Thanks
to
for
be
tuning
on
in, Fiji Wild
it.
Man.
Don't come and just and demand to be on it, because that's, you know, disrespectful.
Yeah.
But you know, I got those guys that like will tell me straight up, here's how much money I'm going to charge. And I'm like, not happening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I hate, you know, be the bearer of bad news. You know, like that's not happening.
Yeah,
You know,
we got to
and-
build this thing first.
Yeah, we got to build this thing because I mean,
Exactly.
we have no idea what we're going to do. With draw because I mean we drawed. I will say we drawed really, really well. The first show, the last two shows we competed against 4th of July weekend, and then
Hey, Sandy.
and then we competed against Union and versus Campbellsville football game this last one. We
Yeah.
didn't draw as good as the first show, but that's wrestling.
Yeah, it's
but,
wrestling.
You adapt and you overcome.
That's
what
right.
You do.
Yeah,
But we didn't take no black eyes. Everything run well. Nobody got hurt. That's the main thing about it. I want to be where I'd like to take this place wrestling to places that hasn't had wrestling in a long time. There's a lot of places in Kentucky that's not had it in a long time.
Well,
I'd
Bobby
love to
Green
see-
and them say Mount Sterling they had one in a long time.
Oh yeah, Mount Sterling. I couldn't tell you the last time I've been wrestling.
They're
Mount
talking
Sterling.
about putting a promotion together
Oh,
to
cool.
do something
Yeah,
up there.
Cool.
Him and his
Sure
dad.
are.
Him and his
Awesome.
dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more wrestling. I would love to see more promotions, come here and
Yeah.
go and everything.
Especially
But-
those guys. They want to do the old style, kind of like
I mean,
what you
it's
do.
just, like our promotion here, I will say that you'll get your money's worth because we have it all.
Yeah.
I won't say we have like death matches or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I mean, we had that match between Chance Profit and Marcus Johnson was a hardcore match.
Yeah.
And it was not really hardcore, but it was no disqualifications, and they took it to the outside with weapons and everything.
Yeah.
But long story short, I want for the promotion to be like, man, did you check out?
That's
Ally
a
Pro
good place.
Video? That's a
Go
good
down
place to
there.
go.
That's a good place for those to work, and they're safe.
Because
And
I don't want to be those guys that like don't go there. They're garbage.
Yeah.
Because I mean that happens. And
Oh, yeah.
everything. And also, I as the promoter side, you have to. Well, I mean, it's a gamble. Am I going to use this guy for this guy? Because certain matches will draw, certain matches won't.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Some guys want to wrestle almost the same guy over and over and over, and that's like this is not going to work.
yeah.
So you're going to have to get outside the comfort zone. So that's I brought.
But I like working with this guy.
Yeah. See, I had that mentality because
Yeah.
I was used to that because I started with NWA Bluegrass. Sometimes we worked the same guys over and over because that's all we had.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the bigger names, we weren't ready for the bigger guys or anything. We were just working the trainees. And then we start going. Excuse me. We started going to other places, and some of us, all right, we could wrestle each other, and like, no, I'm gonna wrestle you this guy, and you're gonna wrestle this guy, and you're like, oh crap, I'm scared to death
That's
now.
right.
Yeah,
But so
yeah.
glad that I did it,
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff. But
Yeah, and it wasn't as hard as you thought, probably.
no. Now they've been sometimes where I'm not dreaded at all, and it's been an absolute, garbage.
Garbage.
Yama
Yeah.
Barnes got something for you.
No, it
He
doesn't.
said one of my favorite wrestling memories with Henry Shaw was his last show in Somerset, and he and Control Chaos got a picture with Pops. Pops really loved Control Chaos.
His dad was one of those guys that you always loved to see and everything. I mean, his dad was. Every time I saw him, talk to him. No matter you're a bad guy or not, you just saw him talk to him. Throw out that fist bump or whatever. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
his dad was always. Jonathan's one of my dear friends. Jonathan refereed for me this last show in Corbin, and absolutely done a phenomenal job, like always.
Yeah.
Everything, but see, my referees are different. My referees have more control. So I'm trying to, like with Allied Pro Wrestling, I'm trying to bring more of the sport back into the referees have more control.
Yeah.
Like
I think Peyton did mention that to us.
yeah, like they have more control. Like my rules are different. Close fist are legal, straight legal. Low blows, eye gouges, and chokes or chops to the throat are automatic DQs. All my heavyweight title matches are no DQ. So the title has to be defended.
So every time the belt is up, it's no cue.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah. That way, nobody can interfere. Nobody can do that. Basically, we brought the sport back to it and everything. And the champion could defend himself at all times against outsiders and everything because, I mean, it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
But basically, I want more of the sport into this, more like the old, kind of like the old school days.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of like the thing that you were told: if it hasn't been done, would you say
if
if it's
it- yeah,
different,
if
do
it's
it.
different, do
If
it.
it's
Yeah.
different, do it.
Like if anybody puts their hands on the ref, they're
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, automatic DQ and everything. And
Thanks for
gotta
tuning
tell-
in, Bone Break Action.
You have to enforce though. You have to tell these guys, don't put your hands on that ref.
Yeah.
Period.
That's right.
But it's Peyton was in a no DQ match, and Chance Prophet got a little mad, couldn't DQ him. You know, but I mean, would you want to DQ Chance Prophet? You know, like,
No.
because you pay for it later.
Chance is awesome.
Yeah, he's absolute.
Speaking of your referees,
Yeah.
Jonathan Barnes is also going to be coming on to the show.
Oh, okay. Jonathan probably got some good stories on that. You know, been many shows with Jonathan, many times and everything. You know, just Frankfurt, Somerset, you name it. Probably around anywhere in Kentucky I've wrestled, Barnes has been there.
Nice.
Yeah, all down the middle. He's he's right down the middle.
That's
Right
how
down
it
the
should be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, James Dean and
One of the
Bone Break
brotherhood.
Action. Thank you for tuning in. So tell me, Henny,
We're drawing pretty good on the show.
Oh, good.
Yeah, a lot of people know who you are.
do
Yeah.
you love a certain wrestler right now that you can think of at the top of your head without having to look back?
First of
to your
all,
match?
are you a fan of watching the
Yes.
big shows?
Yes, I am. Do I catch them all the time?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't. Now, right now, you talk about like right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably right there in the ring, Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson.
That's my
Yeah.
guy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably, to my opinion, one of the best doing it right now.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he came from Ring of Honor.
And he's like so like humble. He don't need the championship to be
No,
like
no.
considered one of the best. Him and Seth Rollins is the same. Seth
yeah.
Rollins is like that too. He don't need the belt. He don't need the championships for people to be like,
Yeah.
this
And
motherfucker
he
is a
gets
bad
it.
wrestler.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tell like new kids when I got trainees under my belt.
Yeah.
Straight up. And
So you train people?
yeah, I've
Okay.
got 2 so far, and we're open to more if anybody wants to join. You know,
Heck
shout
yeah,
out there.
guys. Look at Allied Pro Wrestling
Yeah.
if you guys are looking to train to wrestle.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
wrestling, wrestlers, referees, managers, personnel, whatever. We got openings for all.
We might go down there to be a managers.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell
But
yeah.
I tell my guys all the time, and gals, that you do not need a belt to be over.
Yeah.
That's
The
right.
title does not make the man makes the title.
Don't look at our belts.
Yeah. Well, but that's different. Yeah. Especially, Andrew over there in the corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
But, but
Andrew's over anyway.
But like I can't
always over.
like the way I was brought up in NWA Bluegrass, like you never asked, "Hey, put the title on me." Don't
Yeah.
ask that. You go to the bottom of the barrel. You have
Yeah.
to work your way up and everything.
And how does that work? Like, how does that work? How do you, like, as a promoter, how do you, like, hey, this guy needs the belt or like, how do you choose your
Well,
champion?
I thought about that one for
I bet you
quite
did.
a while. It was at least a month process, and the other guys we were talking about it, like who we going to put it on. Like there was some suggestions on who we should put it on, and think the world of these guys. But you got to look at the long run about it and everything.
Is this guy going to be available every
Yeah,
time?
that was
Is
one
he going
key
to be
factor.
like loyal to us?
Yeah, that was one key factor. Will he be over when he does it?
Yeah.
And how I knew I'd made the right decision. And my first show that I ran, and it's like you're a nervous wreck. You're ready to throw up.
Yeah.
It was like the first match I've ever worked again. And, I will say this, Ray Waddell is standing there. He's like, calm down. You got this. You got this. You're like, calm down. I'm like, how do you all do this every week? This is killing me, And then sure enough, at the very end, and you hear the last match, and, they're going home. The finish is coming up, and you hear crowd and all. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then I went, that was it.
That's great.
That was it.
Yeah,
That was what needed
Great,
to happen.
great decision.
Yeah,
Great
that was the
decision.
decision. And when Marcus won the title, that's what happened. They had kids crying and everything about they was like little old ladies like, oh my gosh, that was great. Like robbing their
Yeah.
eyes and everything.
Best guy to put the
And
bill
then
on.
when he came to the back, he had this look on his face, and I said, "That right there, that's the look." And when he had that was right there. That humble pie, big time,
Yeah.
Marcus. And I mean, I'll put that over any time because
Yeah.
I mean that right there
Hell
was
yeah.
my right decision I did on that one.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because when they hit that 1, 2, 3, and the crowd went nuts, and then got to thinking about the next time when he fought Adrian Alexander in July. Same thing happened in July when he went.
Adrian's awesome.
Yeah, Adrian.
Yes, he
yeah,
is.
shout out to Adrian big time.
He gave us his little wrestling buddy.
You know, that's probably the same size as him right now.
Exactly. He's going to be on the show on the 28th
Oh,
too.
you have to get a high chair about that. Yeah.
Pinky Wildman said, me and Bad Henry had some great matches together.
Yeah, we-
Henry is awesome worker.
Oh, thank you, Fiji. You're an awesome worker too. But no, Adrian is one of those. I will say this about Adrian. Adrian is one of those diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
He's got his name out there in some places right now that people are talking about. I've even got friends that's mentioned him, like, "Hey, you know this Adrian Alexander?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
because I saw you all playing golf together the other day." I was like, "Yeah, like this dude's legit, you know."
He's legit.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And I mean, he's like his promos. Like I remember when he started. You know, he started as a referee,
Yeah.
and when he started wrestling, I was like, "Oh, this kid's got it. You know, this kid's really got it." And then
Yeah.
the next thing you know, knowing him over time and how better he's gotten. When he come down there for Allied Pro Wrestling, I was like, "This is a done deal right here."
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's going to do great things.
He's a great
whichever
guy.
where he goes, he does great things.
Yeah.
I think so.
Me and him's pretty good buddy. He calls me sometimes and
Yeah.
we talk.
Yeah, he's
And
definitely
he
one.
gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. There's a lot of guys that don't get it.
Yeah.
There is some guys that just do not get it. There's some guys that think I've got to do 1,000 spots to get over. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you can do 35 Canadian destroyers. You can do 10 shooting star presses and a pile driver and a body slam, and it makes no sense. Nobody's going to do nothing. You work a punch one time, 3 times, finally get that punch. The crowd goes nuts. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
That's right.
If it don't make sense, like I always tell my guys and girls, if it don't make sense in the ring, it doesn't make sense in real life. It definitely will not make sense in the ring.
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What I've always learned is that if you want the crowd to get behind you, do less inside the ring.
Yeah.
Work for it.
Yeah.
Make them
My like Larry D knows how to work the crowd.
Oh yeah.
We
Definitely.
was down at Bar Brawl 3, and like in the middle of the show, he has his match with Derek James.
Yeah.
And for like 10 minutes of the match, he's working the crowd. He comes out working the crowd. The crowd is going crazy.
Yeah.
His place was going nuts. Like they was loving him, and he got in the ring and he worked the crowd. And all during the match, he's working the crowd
Yeah.
during the match. During the whole thing, like he doesn't forget, hey, the crowd is watching. I need to give them something. I need to give them something.
Yeah.
To give them something. He's so good at what he does.
I'll tell you, a kid that does it now is a guy named Carson Drake.
Yep.
Carson Drake knows how to work the crowd.
Carson Drake.
Especially, like, I've worked shows with him, but I've not seen him since he's been doing the megaphone and everything. And that's genius.
Yeah.
Absolute
That is
genius. The best part, though, is when he's introducing himself. And he did this at Allied Pro Wrestling the other day. He's introducing himself. Weighing in at 220. Shut up! And he's trying. Just
We need
the
to
way-
get him on the show.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh!
we do.
Yeah.
I've been working.
Yeah.
We've heard about him before. We've
Oh,
heard
it's
about him a few
fantastic,
times.
Fantastic. All those 3 guys that came down, Party Mike, Justin Xavier, and Carson Drake. If anybody listening, book those guys. They will not disappoint you one bit. All you have to do is give them Bucky's gift cards, and they'll come down for you.
That's right. Or get them Bucky's brisket.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Carson bought a brisket while he was down there too. So I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure he's done something.
It's
like
like, I got one word for you, Bucky's.
that. Yeah, I mean, deal, brother, deal.
Carson's one of the guys that I really want to bring onto the show because he's got it.
Listen,
Who is it?
Carson
Oh,
Drake.
Carson.
and make him take. I took them guys to the KFC Sanders Cafe in Corbin, where
Okay.
it all started. And you never seen the biggest bunch of marks for KFC ever. We walk in there, and I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
And we walk in there, and Carson's like, "No way!" And just walks through there, and he's like taking. He like does the pose with like he's got threatening the statue and everything. God's gold, absolute gold.
Yeah.
And like the lady behind the counter said, "They're not from here, are they?" I was like, "No."
When we come down there, we want to go to that place.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
Exactly.
I mean, I'll put that over all day long, but I mean, it's beautiful. Let's go there where it all started. That kitchen, like if you've never been there, there's a museum about his kitchen. It's there.
Yeah.
Everything.
Nice.
And then one of them said, "What if you lifted one of the pots and like he forgot to take the bread out and it's like maggots and everything?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure they clean this thing out."
That's funny.
I mean, that's the wrestling thing. I mean, you go to places you never thought you'd be before because of wrestling. You know,
Yeah.
everything. But I mean, he said if he ever writes a book, it's going to be I went to the Sanders Cafe and everything. So
That'd be great.
So when's y'all's next show? You know yet?
we don't know. I had one planned up, but then I think we're going to pull it because a lot of guys that I was going to do I have there. They're like, I don't know if we'll be there around because it's around a holiday. It's around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, should we or should we not? And we haven't made that decision yet, so I've
Yeah.
not put that date out yet. I am talking to places right now. I actually got off the phone today with one and got some good things waiting to hear back.
Okay.
But hopefully in the near future, we're going to try to do, I do know in January, February, March, and April of next year, we do have Corbin Civic Center all 4 months.
Okay.
All there. But as of right now, we've got nothing in the air. You know, I hate that because I had stuff lined up and then they fell through. There's some places that, you want, you call to get a booking, and that's another thing you learn about being a promoter and a booker is you call and get places, and they're like, well, we'll do it for this amount of money. And this place wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make nothing on this.
Yeah.
But, I
That's
want
right.
to, make, I want to do good and everything about it, but I also want to make money at the same time because,
Yeah.
I
You
do this
have
for
to
fun.
to
You
keep
have
going.
to
Yeah,
keep
to keep
going
going.
because, something breaks, that's out of your pocket. You got to
Yeah,
break.
yeah.
Like the trailer that hauls the ring, I ain't going to lie about this. All 4 tires we blew 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they blew on the way to the event.
Tires aren't cheap.
Tires
Man,
aren't
that
cheap.
sucks.
Yeah. We got them all replaced, but tires ain't cheap,
Damn straight there.
But even that we replaced our rails. We got professional, crowd barricades like they got. We got those now.
Yeah.
'Cause those things, it's about what makes your product look good.
Yeah, it
And
does.
That's
It
right.
I
does.
mean, I'll say New South looks
Oh,
beautiful.
they
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
stuff.
TCW, Triple Crown looks great. WWA looks great. I mean, there's all these places that look great. Then you go to these other places, like there's some places down in Tennessee that I've worked at, and you're like, where'd they get this ring? When you hit the ropes and the ring shifts 4 feet, you're like, oh crap.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then there's a piece of yarn covering the barrier, and like somebody's gonna jump this barrier, guaranteed. Because I mean, the crowd barrier. A lot of people think I can't cross this barrier because of this cage here, But they see this yarn, like I'm brave, I'm gonna cross it because that's happened.
Yeah.
It's happened, especially
Yep.
especially in West Virginia. That's happened a lot.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
West Virginia
Dean
stuff,
said-
huh?
story time.
Okay,
Back
tell us a good story.
Oh, this was a great one. Yeah. So back in 2012, do you remember when the Hatfield McCoys came on TV?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're in Matewan, West Virginia. That's where a lot of the Hatfields still live. There's a
Oh,
lot
man.
of things like where they killed the McCoy boys. Those trees are still there. Their history is still there.
Yeah.
Promoter says, listen, don't say anything about the Hatfield McCoys. A lot of the Hatfields hate that show because it makes them look like they're vicious people. Don't mention anything because there's probably McCoys thinking they're, it makes them look bad. Both sides, like, we hate this. This is inaccurate, all that stuff. Long story short, go do my match. Fine. Second match, comes out there, guy gets the mic. He said, look at all these ugly people. Boo. Look like a bunch of McCoys.
Oh.
I bet 12 people jumped the rail.
Oh, damn.
Riot.
Wow.
Riot.
We had to clear the back.
We told you not to steer that.
Definitely.
It was like, the promoter I knew had joined the church like a couple of weeks before that, but it was the first time I heard him cuss, and he was so angry. And
Oh,
cops
man.
got called, and I don't think that guy ever wrestled for that bunch ever again. I mean, literally, like, you don't say that about us.
You're never in West Virginia ever again.
They took it serious. They definitely took it serious over there.
Yeah. There's some things that you can't say.
That was like one of those days, in wrestling, like, oh crap, I cannot believe that just happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
James Dean says KFC is really good.
It is. It's really
it
good.
is. It really is.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It made Carson Drake.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, he marked out the entire time he was in there.
That's
And
right.
then the funniest thing ever is like he'd go to the bathroom. He's like, the colonel is talking to me in the bathroom. I said, what? And I'd never been in there. And you go in there, and there's the loudspeaker over top there. Turn left at US 25 West. I'm like, okay, it really does talk to you. And then one of the guys like, see if it does in the girls. And then one of the girls went in there and like, it does.
That's funny.
I said, I don't understand. It's giving you directions to KFC, but you're already there. I'm like,
But you're inside the bathroom.
yeah,
so
like it's around the bathroom. I haven't understand that. But,
shouldn't it be saying,
like,
please come to the sink and wash your hands?
we got to thinking about it. We think it was taking you directions out of there, but it would turn you right back around the camera. Well, you're already here. You might as well come back on in.
Was that what it was doing?
That probably was.
Probably was.
You didn't buy enough chicken. Get back here.
You forgot your bucket of chicken.
You bought too much. You didn't buy enough biscuits. Here you go. Yeah. You stole all the honey. Bring it back. Or
That's
something
probably
like
what happened.
That's
They
probably
want you to
what
buy
happened.
some more.
But I mean, those guys down there, they were so funny, especially around the colonel, giving the jobber pose to the colonel and all that stuff. Yeah. But I mean, it was great and everything. I think even Carson Drake gave the jobber pose to Bucky. They had the Bucky dressed up and everything. So yeah,
He did post that. Picture.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did. I didn't understand what he's talking about, the jobber pose, and I forgot the point. I was like, oh, I never caught it that. I just caught it like the Mark pose. Well, I used to call it, But,
I mean, it technically is.
yeah, it is. I mean, he's like, I couldn't believe there was that many people there. I was like, well, it is the weekend, so there's a ton of people there.
Yeah.
That place has got like 128 gas pumps down there. It's like, it's huge.
Oh,
you know.
the Buc-ee's. The first time I seen one of those Buc-ee's was in Houston. I was down there with a friend, and we were driving past it, and it was like, what the hell is that place over there? It's like the biggest convenience store ever,
Yeah.
and we was like, it looks like a Walmart with a gas station.
It's super Walmart of gas stations.
Super
much
Walmart with a
better.
gas station next to it. I was like,
I went to Atlanta a couple years ago. Well, it was last year, and I never did see the big Buc-ee's. And they've got one above Atlanta, but it wasn't open yet. I was dying to go in it, but it wasn't open yet. But the one in Richmond opened probably about February. February somewhere around there.
I've been trying to get down there. I just haven't got that way yet.
Supposedly they're putting one in Western Kentucky too, somewhere around Elizabethtown. We've heard Elizabethtown, Bowling Green, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So I mean, I know that the one in Richmond is the most north Buc-ee's there is.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's up there, it's up there and everything. I just get anything if there's a Sheetz or Wawa come around here.
So Andrew's back in. Look like you got you a shot, man. What you shooting over there?
Key lime pie.
Oh, the moonshine. Okay. That's that Tennessee
Well,
moonshine.
well.
He
I
the
had that. I just had that caramel one earlier. Whew, it is good.
caramel. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that brown one that's in there.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's a coffee one, ain't it?
It kind of tastes like it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I like moonshine, so.
Yeah, that stuff's from Tennessee. That's straight
Like
from
my
Tennessee.
I like my fireballs too, so.
Yeah, I don't drink much anymore, but I got a bunch of stuff in there.
You ever had the real stuff, Andrew?
I had Patron before.
No,
No, the real moonshine.
real moonshine he's
Like
talking
built
about.
from a steel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
My dad and my uncle used to make moonshine a lot, Like I got one of his moonshine shotguns over there in the corner I had remade.
No, really.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh.
Dang.
Yeah.
My dad used to go to the courthouse to get real moonshine.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
yeah.
mother.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as much as it used to
My,
be. Well, back in the day, God.
My uncle had this house out on, my last name's Watkins, out on Watkins Lane down in Carlisle, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And when he built his house, he owned this old bus. Okay, so he dug a big ditch and put
Ooh,
this
that was a good one.
school bus in this ditch
Yeah.
and covered it up, and then he went on and built his house.
Yeah.
So he's got that. You can go down and get in the back of it. And they were making moonshine out of that thing
Yeah.
for years.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
years. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you could, like where I'm from. I'm from Far East Kentucky,
Yeah.
and it was when I was in high school. I could smell it on people that had been around it,
Yeah.
in school and everything. I mean, it was everywhere. But I remember, like they would hear, like you would go hunting or drive your trucks up hills because we were bored. We'd have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And you would all the time would hear, boom.
Somebody's moonshine still done blew up.
And then when it got older, it turned into be meth labs that were blowing up.
Yeah. Somebody blew the moonshine. Like,
but
you'd
I-
always
I
smell
knew-
like
I knew,
the.
like one time we went up to for a bonfire. We used to do that all the time.
Uh-huh.
We'd go up top of a hill, nobody around, like trucks, 4-wheel drives, everything. Go up top of a hill and just sitting around. And you just like, hey, what are we doing tomorrow? I don't know. Boom.
Somebody's moonshine
And
blew
then
up.
you hear like one of them like, somebody's shooting a gun. I was like, ain't no gun. Wait, smell. Yep. Somebody still blew up.
Somebody blew up their steel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the way it was.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah.
I mean, where I'm from, they were some guys making it so pure that you couldn't tell what it was.
Oh yeah,
And then you
yeah.
also had those guys that was running through car radiators.
Oh yeah.
That killed a few people.
Yeah, you had some that was
Oh.
terrible. Like I've had some that was
Exactly.
terrible. My dad and my uncle, they made some really good stuff. And then I had some a few years back that like a guy made, and he had apple rinds or whatever.
Yeah.
It just tastes like apple. Like it was so good, but like it would kick your ass.
It would.
Yeah,
So
that's the
I-
great thing about Kentucky.
Yep.
Yep, that
Yeah.
is.
And now it's
One of the
it's not the great thing anymore because it's
Yeah.
it seems like you go down the Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. It's all over that place down there.
yeah.
I've been there a few times.
Have you? I've been
Yeah.
there quite a bit.
Yeah, Pigeon Forge that's a fun place to go. They're starting to do a lot of the Pigeon Forge kind of stuff down in Sled down there
Yeah,
now.
I wrestled in outside of Pigeon Forge one time, and I don't remember what the God. It's the sad thing is I've wrestled for so many promotions that I can't remember them all. I used to write them all down, and I used to keep up with every promotion that I ever wrestled for.
Yeah.
And every match and everything. And then in 07 and 08, I quit doing it because I was like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just forgot and just didn't. Like, who'd you wrestle for a couple weeks ago? I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you forget,
Yeah,
exactly.
Because, I mean, there was sometimes where I would wrestle 3 or 4 days a week at 07.
Uh-oh.
And some of it would be like the same promotion on Friday and Saturday, and then on Sunday, and then following into that Tuesday, you forget, like, who did I wrestle for Friday? I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
well, it killed the stagehand.
Still, yeah. They
Hey,
hell out
don't
of
be
it.
mean to that stagehand. He was just doing his job.
They just killed the intern here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's ripping his shirt off.
That would never fly in Allied
Oh.
Pro Wrestling.
Peyton,
No.
if Peyton's awake right now, he would
Oh.
probably tell you.
Nah,
no,
he's
that
asleep.
was-
He's been asleep for an hour.
I'll be
Hey,
crazy.
his nappy time came.
Yeah, his alarm clock's going to go off at 3 o'clock this morning.
Speaking of Carson Drake,
Alright.
did you know that recently he unmasked Omega?
I heard about that.
Yeah.
And they're in a tag team called the Audacity with Adrian Alexander.
Well, that's their first problem right there. Including Adrian.
Including Adrian.
Yeah, including Adrian.
I tried to challenge Adrian to a street fight, but he wasn't ready. He was in his street clothes. I'm like, come on, man.
Listen, Adrian spends so much money on clothes
I mean,
that
jeez.
He always looks sharp as
he
hell.
always does.
He's trying to be like me. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, that Andrew
I
dresses
played-
great.
I've played golf with him many times. Like, why are you wearing a suit? Put that in the car. He's like, I'm trying to look the part.
He learned from Scott Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah, Scott's always got a three-piece suit on him, and
Oh yeah, he definitely does.
and Austin does too. Always.
Yeah.
I love
That's
Scott.
right.
Oh, Austin. I have watched that kid. I've known that kid, Austin.
He's
for-
great on the mic, man.
Yeah, one of my favorite things he was probably about 12 years old, and he said, I have broken the streak for the longest days alive of my life. Thank you. I was like, that's a promo right there.
Yeah.
That's it right there. I said, mark that down. You better write that down. He's
We
like,
went
forgot
down
what I
there.
said.
We went down there to KEPW, and the first time I met him, like he was over there, and he looks like he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
And he's only 15 years old, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy is announcing the matches,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and he tells me he's 15 years old. I'm like, oh my God, dude! Like he's so great with the microphone.
he says things that just like you close your eyes. And I can hear Scott.
yeah,
hear
Scott,
Scott straight
yeah,
up.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
cloned
Yeah.
like a clone, Scott clone.
Yeah, Scott.
But he's still got his own personality too.
And I told Scott, Scott's, Marine and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
always made fun of Scott because they always, shout out to anybody in the military, respect, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I never did do it, but I wish I had. That's one of my big regrets.
Yeah.
But Scott, full-blooded Marine, everything. And one of the he cut on me one day saying something to
Uh-oh.
me about my tights or something like that. And right in the promo, he couldn't say anything to me. I said, "What ship were you on in the Navy?" And he
Oh my God.
and he forgot what he said, and that was our joke rib forever. I was like, "Get out of here, Navy!" What?
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
I asked him one day where his bell bottoms were, and he's like, "Oh."
That's funny.
And then he said one of my great fears is if my child joins the Navy. And Austin's like, I'm thinking about joining the Navy. And that was a long time ago. He's like, he goes, "Oh gosh."
Stay out of the Navy.
But I mean, it's just joking around. You can do that with any Marine.
Yeah, yeah. They
so-
don't like the Navy.
No, they don't.
And I knew Austin since back at Georgetown, I think. Back then, when it was back at Georgetown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Austin's he's a talent.
He sure is. He's got a.
He's wrestling now.
Yeah, if he, you don't have to have an age limit over there in certain states.
2-0.
Yeah, he's 2-0. Yeah.
West Virginia, he's been wrestling.
Yeah,
I haven't got
I've
to
seen
see him
that.
wrestle yet, but
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, 15 years old and he's outshining some of these.
Oh
other
yeah,
cats.
yeah. I've seen that before. I've been to shows where I was up in Indiana one time, and when Corey Storm was about 16 years old, and he's flying all. I said, "How old's that kid?" And they said, "He's about 16." I said, "There ain't no way."
Yeah.
I was just kidding wrestling, flying all over the place, everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes when I went to Jersey, they had a guy training. I went to a camp in Jersey, wrestling camp, and they had a 10-year-old kid there, just wanting to try it, see if he liked it. They let him do it. They let him do it. And of course, he took bumps and everything. I said, "This
That's
kid's gonna be awesome."
Yeah.
And they put him in the show that night as a fan, and what's his name on Damien Martinez was there as Punisher Martinez at the show, and shoves him down. Part of the show, crowd didn't know it. Cops got called. It was great.
Perfect.
Yeah. He's like, "That's great heat, boys." He said, "Warm your hands. It's got some heat there."
that's funny,
That
man.
was great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, all he does is like that kid's like taking a picture. I think it was QT Marshall taking a picture of him, and then Punisher goes, shoves it down.
I bet that
That's crazy.
he's letting them know, hey.
But the funny thing is, that kid after the show was over, that kid come backstage and his eyes this big.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "You found your calling, didn't you?" He said, "I want to do this. Whatever happened to him, I have no idea. I hope he's still doing it.
Yeah.
He probably is.
I'll guarantee it, he is.
Yeah, Adrian.
Yeah,
Adrian grew
yeah,
up.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. We're at the same height. Yeah.
That was Adrian.
I'm
Sorry, Adrian. I just had to do that.
About 10 text messages. I heard what you said.
I just said it's like he's gonna call me. He's like, "What did you say about me, man? I'm not coming on now." No.
Or it could have been Carson Drake.
He's combing his ponytail. What'd he say?
What did he say about me, Andy? Why did you say that about? I thought we was buddies.
Oh, man.
It
I'll
could
never
have
go golfing again with him.
been Justin Xavier, too.
Oh, boy.
Could have been. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been definitely.
Justin Xavier's a good wrestler, too.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yep.
fantastic.
There's been all kinds of great wrestlers that's come out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
They have been. There's a lot, like I said a couple of years ago, there have been they've been, we had a bad name for a long time. I always say, take advice from, old-time veterans. Like Rudy Gonzalez, has a Texas Wrestling Academy down there in Texas. Met him, done a camp, nice guy, told some great advice to some kids. And I say, you add him on Facebook, he'll add you. And he'll put stuff on Facebook about wrestling advice and all that stuff. But there's some guys that don't want to hear the advice from these older guys. It worked back in that day. Why is it going to work today? It still does.
Yeah.
Everything that they did still does it today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And why wouldn't you listen?
No, I mean that's what I'm saying.
That's just don't make no
That's
sense
what I
not
say
to
too.
listen.
Yeah.
It only takes you a few minutes to
Yeah.
listen, and
my first show that I ever did with NWA Bluegrass, I was security. That first show that I helped set up and everything. And it was the first time I got to meet George South. And George South, phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
Phenomenal dude in the back and everything. Nice guy. Only guy I've ever seen get heat with John 3:16 on the back of his trunks. Kid you not. He cut a promo, and it lasted probably 10 minutes. And had one of the crowd the whole time had the crowd wanting to murder him. Murder him. And all it was he wouldn't take his jacket off. Wouldn't take the jacket off. He said, "You can't talk to me. I don't even live here. You shut up. You can't talk to me like that. I'll get out of here. I swear I will. I'll hit you with my tap. Whatever." And I'm over here like in the crowd. I'm supposed to be security, but I'm going, "This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome." And the other security guy's like, "This is great." And the other the guy he was wrestling, I can't remember who the guy he was wrestling, but George South stopped and said, "All right, fine. Bell's been rung for 10 minutes.
yeah.
Crowd is wrestle. Shut up. I gotta warm up." And he would kick his leg and stretch. And I mean, they were wanting to kill him. And he turned his back to the guy and put his leg on the rope. And the kid said, "I had enough of this." Rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. Crowd went ballistic.
I bet. And he didn't even do him. He didn't even
Nothing.
walk the crowd and didn't even do a
Didn't
move.
do nothing. And then I went to the back after all show. I said, "Mr. South, that was great." He said, "Listen to me. less is more. I was like,
Damn straight.
I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And then Ricky Morton's like, he stole my idea. But I mean, y'all, I couldn't believe that. I was like, they didn't do nothing at all. Same, I went to a house show years ago in 05, and I watched Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels in a house show.
Yeah.
And they didn't do hardly anything, but they had them eating out of their hands.
Yeah.
And the whole time Rick was playing the coward, every time Shawn would go for the the sweet chin music, Rick would duck out.
Yeah.
And the last time he did it, he ducked out of it. He said, I ain't fall for that again. Wham! Nailed. And I'm 2 or 3 years in wrestling. I was like, this is genius. This is absolute, there's no wonder that man is the greatest man on earth right there.
Yeah, yeah. Rick, did you watch his last match?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I hate the people like, why'd he do that? Like, listen, Jimmy Vane said you can never fully walk away from this business no matter how many times you try.
Yeah.
And I know that it was killing him that he couldn't get in that ring. And he said, I can just still do this one last time. And I applaud him for that.
Me too. I loved it. I
applaud. I had friends that went down to
I was scared for him, but I loved it.
Which I knew they were going to take. I knew they were going to take care of him.
Yeah.
But I knew, they were going to take care of him, but I knew he wasn't going to do anything knowing him, probably he would have probably loved to have had a heart attack in the ring.
Yeah,
right.
That's just the way he is.
Yeah.
But knowing him, man, that was fantastic.
I'm surprised he didn't fake one.
That's right.
I really am. I'm surprised he didn't fake his death in that ring.
And may I
Come
just
back out the
say-
next week. I'm having another match. I lived.
Pull the Vince McMahon blowing up in the limo.
Yeah,
And may
yeah.
I just say, if any of you young cats are watching, you should listen to what this man says, because less is more. And that's how the fans start eating out of hand.
Work the crowd. Work the
I'm probably
crowd.
going to get messages like, no, man, you got to do spots. Like,
Yeah, the crowd is there to be worked. Work them.
No,
Yep.
no. I was actually telling this. I was working a kid one time, and this was his 4th match. And I won't say who the kid is because he's gotten better now. I've seen what he's done, but this kid had an attitude problem big time when he first started. So we had a match one night, and I get to the show probably about 3 hours just to hang out. Apparently, this kid's been there since like 12 that day.
Yeah.
And I got there like at 5.
Yeah.
And he comes up to me. He said, "Where you been?"
You're late,
I said,
young man.
I said, "What? Excuse me?" About 15 years in, I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Man, I've been going over this match the entire time." I said, "What match?" He said, "We're working tonight." I said, "Cool." He's like, "All right." He said, "What are we going to do? We got to come up with a plan." I said,
We'll see when we're out there.
I said, "You know what going in Shakespeare means?" He was like, "No." I was like, "We're going in Shakespeare." Well, apparently he was so nervous he wanted to throw up, and he got one of the bookers to like, "Hey man, go call spots with him." Well, this kid called. Basically, he tried to Kenny Omega everything.
Jeez.
Everything. And his finisher, he went over that night, but his finisher was a line salt like Jericho does.
Yeah.
I watched him practice it. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And I tell him, I said, "Are you going to hit that line salt tonight?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Cool. You miss me. I'm out." He said, "What's my finish?" I was like, No. I ain't making myself look bad. You miss me. I'm out.
Damn straight.
So we come up to the finish. Sure enough. Here he comes. And he brushes me. And he's like, "Don't kick out." What? Ah! I'm out.
Hit it right.
Yeah, hit it right.
Or don't do it at all.
And then I worked him again like the next week. And then it was the same thing. He's wanting to call. I said, "Do something else. This is stupid."
Yeah.
And his girlfriend at the time was his manager. And I had a spot to come up with. I said, "I have an idea to get more heat." And I said, "Do you mind if I pull a Jimmy Vane on you?" And she said, "What?" I said, "The kiss." I said, "I'm not going to actually kiss you. But, put them thumbs right there over her mouth. Do it. She said, "Yeah, all for that." He didn't want to. He's like, "No, we're not doing that." She goes, "Yeah, we're doing that spot." So sure enough, she goes out. I go out, I dip outside. I'm doing the your mom's favorite. I'm your favorite too. Won't you call me later and all that stuff?
Yeah.
She goes to smack me, block, pull her in. Never laid a lip on her, nothing.
Yeah.
This kid starts shooting on me.
Oh wow, he's mad.
Yeah. But here's the fun part. He's the size. I'll use Adrian as an example. He's the size of Adrian.
Yeah.
And I tell him straight up.
Without the skills of Adrian.
Yes. Definitely. I tell him, I said, "You lighten up or I said, I will kill you." Basically,
Yeah.
And I don't normally throw chops, I threw a lot, and I mean a lot.
Yeah.
And there's one time when I threw one, he put his hand up right here. That's a big fat no-no.
Yeah.
Right there. One, it will hurt him and me at the same time.
Yeah.
And I get right in the ear, and I said, "Do that again, and I will hurt you." And then I called for a clothesline. I said, "Clothesline." So sure enough, throw him into the buckle, comes up for clothesline. I switch feet, I chop him again. I mean, my hand was blistered the next day. I hit him so many times. I haven't seen him since.
Did he quit or does he?
He quit for a couple of years, but I
Yeah.
heard he's doing some things down in Tennessee.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
Like some guys.
Maybe he
say-
started listening.
If I know where he's at, he better or they would have murdered him down there.
Exactly.
So, and I've heard that he's one of Dr. Tom's boys now.
Okay.
So if he don't listen, they'll make him listen.
That's
so
good.
I hope
That's
the
great.
best for him. I mean, if he's straightened
Yeah,
up and everything.
yeah,
But
yeah.
a friend of mine said, "You ought to book him." I said, "He's got to apologize to me first." But I don't know if it's going to happen or not. So,
Yeah.
I hate to be, I'm not cocky at all, but when you got that, I hate an attitude.
Yeah.
I love guys that are humble, especially guys who want to listen. I wrestled a kid the last show, Griff Gatlin, humble.
Yeah.
Done, absolutely humble. Done everything, I asked him to, and he's one of Chance Prophet's kids from Pro Wrestling Academy out of
That explains it.
out of West Virginia. But those guys, Chance is going to do great things with that bunch and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yes, he will.
just be humble. If you're new to wrestling,
Yeah.
listen, pick their brain,
Exactly.
practice. Another thing is, a lot of guys and girls don't practice promos, and I don't understand that. Why?
Yeah. It's part of the business.
it
It's a big
is.
part of the business.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Especially.
like camps that I've been to, guarantee you, like when we break up in the groups, half would go in the ring, half would go outside, and the rest would do promos the entire time.
Yeah.
Make me want to watch you is what they would say.
Yeah.
That's right. Because if you're going to get inside this business, you want the crowd to eat out the palm of your
Yeah,
hand.
You gotta work the crowd.
Dr. Tom, I did a seminar with Dr. Tom one time. Dr. Tom did WWE's school for years, and they said straight up, he said, "We can teach you how to wrestle, but we can't teach you how to talk.
Exactly.
That's right.
And if you can talk, we're going to use you." So
Yeah.
that's why a lot of guys and girls in WWE don't start off as wrestlers in the indies or anything. They go straight to WWE because they know how to talk. They might have to
Hello,
look
Bobby
too.
Rassles. Shout
Yeah.
out to you.
They know how to talk and they know how to look and everything. But
Yeah.
nobody
For
they'll
ex-
teach you how to wrestle.
For instance, Enzo.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Enzo's going to be in here Saturday. That's podcast in the same chair you are, but he knows how to talk.
guarantee.
He knows how to
Right.
work
Yeah.
that.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a shout out to him. I don't hate him one bit.
No.
because of that.
Shout out Bobby Rassles. Thank you for tuning in.
But I mean, there's a lot of guys that gave him a lot of heat because did he start in WWE did he go up to the main roster too soon? Maybe that's not my.
He
decision.
earned it, though.
He earned it.
He earned
yeah.
it.
Damn
But
straight.
I understand there's sometimes he botched some things, but we all botch.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yes.
botches.
Yeah.
Nobody does anything like that.
How
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah, but I mean, the man knew how to talk.
Yeah.
I
Damn
mean,
straight
He still
did.
does.
yeah,
He's
he still does. I mean, commentator, he had been a fantastic commentator.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes,
He's
he
probably one of the
would.
biggest indie wrestlers right now that's out, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's what whatever you do the best, do it the best.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if like
I seen that he did an interview and he said, I can do all these crazy moves and this and that. He said, but that's not Enzo. That's
No.
not Enzo. What Enzo does.
no, well, I mean there's a lot of guys that like Nunzio from WWE and ECW.
Yeah.
They called him one night. They needed a referee because I think their referees got snowed in somewhere. They couldn't get, and he was right next to the arena. He said, "I'll come do it." They gave him a job again as a referee, and like a lot of guys, like, "Oh, I used to be a wrestler. I wouldn't be a referee." Like if WWE gives you a job, you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Renee Dupree did the same thing. Renee Dupree was a fantastic wrestler.
Uh-huh.
He came in as a referee one time. Like, why was he doing that? I said, he's got a job and you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Be humble about
And
it.
plus, he's on TV.
Yeah.
He's like he's used to be a wrestler. He probably got a bunch of indie bookings just because he was doing that ref
that's
stuff.
what I mean, I've worked Renee Dupree, fantastic dude.
Yeah.
Can absolutely. Oh God, he'd blow me up. I was dead within a minute. But I mean, the dude was like fantastic.
That's why you say cardio is important.
Oh my God. I asked him. I said, Renee, how long have you been wrestling? He goes, "Hang on, I'm thinking about it."
Yeah.
And I think at the time it was like 29 years is what he'd been
Wow,
wrestling.
wow.
Yeah, and I was
Dang.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
You know,
right.
like, and then I hear one of the kids go, "He say 29 years?" You know, like, and he could out wrestle everybody in this promotion. I'm like, yeah, at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, just like Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton could probably like a lot of shows
Uh-huh.
I've been around Ricky Morton, outwork everybody in that.
Yeah.
locker room.
And even
And
for
how old
his
is he
age,
now? How old is Ricky Morton now?
He's
He
in
is-
60s at least.
Yeah, yeah.
He is close to his mid-60s.
Oh yeah.
They seen
And
him-
Still could go.
Yeah, we seen him playing. Didn't he have a spot on the Ric Flair show?
Yep.
Yeah, he was playing around with Ric Flair in
He
the
was
back.
teamed up with his son, Kerry Morton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember when that was a kid too. Oh my gosh, that's been.
You remember he was a kid?
I remember when Ricky would have shows and bring Curry along. Curry's thing was he had to have chocolate milk.
Oh wow.
That was his thing. And I remember it was like, we need some chocolate milk for this kid. I said, well, he's running. Like, he would get lost under the bleachers and wouldn't come out. I remember that. And I was like, this is the same kid? It's like, yeah. And I found out it was the same one.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
That's what the funny thing is. That was the same kid. You know, you grow up in this business, like, you know, you see these kids like, I know their dads, you know, like, oh no, I'm an old guy now because you know these kids are wrestling. Now.
Yeah, they just grow up quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they grow up fast.
They do. I mean,
And the fact that he's already...
I still think of myself as a kid, and I'm freaking 40-something. I'm 48
Like
years old.
Bowman right now thinking of himself as a kid because he had his chalky milk.
he was probably warmed and he probably,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, he had his warm
he
milk.
probably
and
got
he
a
went to
bedtime
bed.
story read to him and everything. You
Yeah.
know, about the wrestler that could is what it is. The little wrestler that could. That's probably his
That's
favorite bedtime
right.
story.
By his mom.
We're catching a lot of heat tonight, aren't we?
He's writing down. I'm gonna tell him this. I'm gonna tell him that. And all that stuff. He's writing his journal. You know.
His girl saying, you know what?
Oh, sharpshooter,
I'm going to
sharpshooter.
go off.
Yeah.
Next time I see Henry Shaw. And then he's going to forget anything they wrote down.
Or I'll just like, let me read it and I'll throw it away and he'll get mad.
So I know y'all don't have any upcoming shows, but are you going to be wrestling anywhere soon?
I'm going to be wrestling for USWF in Mount Vernon on October the 1st at the festival down there.
Great
October
promotion.
1st, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. That's my next booking. Like I said, I'm getting older. I'm slowing down, but you know, well, I'll just say that stuff hurts nowadays, and you wake up, you know, stuff hurts more than it used to.
Yeah.
The older you get, take care of yourselves, kids. You
That's
know.
right.
You don't have to take bumps on the concrete. So,
Exactly. Leave the death matches for the death match guys, the specialists.
I've worked hardcore matches. I've never worked a death match. I actually told a kid one time, you know, if
There's a
you
big
wanna
difference.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
You damn
I
straight.
told one time, he said, man, I worked a death match, man. Man, awesome, cool. I was like, you got insurance? No. You realize if you got hurt, you've been hit? You're like, yeah, I guess I will.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is not my thing.
So I've seen some stuff on. Oh my God, crazy stuff. They like to hit each other with them light bulbs.
Light tubes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
these
mean,
light tubes.
I've been hit with the chairs many times. You know, I don't do the heads in the head anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting. It hurts. It hurt then, and it hurt a lot. I actually got my head tore open by a chair back in 08, and that was the last time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No more headshots.
No more headshots. Which I mean, take care of yourselves, guys. I mean, don't do it like, oh, it's better for the business. Yeah, but the business is not going to take care of you. You don't take care of
That's
yourself.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to take care of
I was
yourself.
like, you don't
if you're
have
gonna be
that. You don't
business.
have that e-money.
Yeah.
You know, you're on the indie circuit. You know,
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
especially when dudes get spiked on their heads. No.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Definitely not.
I mean, work safe. Don't try to kill each other. You know,
Exactly.
Still work safe and everything. So,
Oh shit! Willard just tapped out.
Oh, shit.
Sharpshooter,
Will
yeah.
you
He
just
lost
tapped out and
his,
lost his championship?
Yeah, he lost his pure championship to Garcia. Right?
Yep.
Garcia is now
The Ring
pure
of Honor
Ring of Honor
pure
champion.
Okay, this was the main event, really.
It
Wow.
flew by fast.
apparently,
Wow.
the crowd loves it. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
That's what's
that's
right.
right.
That's what
the
matters.
crowd loves it.
They
yeah.
worked for it.
They've put him over in the last couple of weeks,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Daniel Bryanson put him over.
Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson put him over in the last.
That one guy put him over.
Yeah, yeah. He switches his name around so much.
That bearded dragon.
The
Yeah.
Dragon.
American Dragon.
Here he comes.
The bearded
That's
dragon,
right.
Here he comes.
Oh, look, he's coming out.
Speaking of the bearded dragon, here he comes.
You know, that's what I love, too, about Brian Danielson. So he's not afraid to put over someone young and hungry.
When he came to AEW, that's exactly what he said. He said, "I'm going to help these younger guys. I'm going to put these younger guys over," and that's exactly what he's been
Yuta
doing.
just pushed him.
Really, Yuta?
Yeah, he's like,
Oh.
I'll shake hands with him.
He said he didn't get to shake his hand yet. That's what it was.
Oh. Yeah,
Now what?
No.
Oh, this is
He's
what.
like, son of a...
He just put on the pure Ring of Honor championship around Daniel Garcia's waist.
Is he joining the Blackpool Club? You
Yuta
think?
doesn't look very
He
happy.
could.
Yuta don't look very happy.
No, Yuta's not very happy about that.
He's like, what the F, man? I thought we're the combat.
Uh-oh, comes
Uh-oh,
Jericho.
here comes Jericho.
Oh, really?
He's like, what the F?
Oh, Sammy versus Darby next at what is it, Friday?
Oh, and
Yeah.
the world title for the Ring of
that's
Honor
gonna
Oh
great.
wow, we got
on
Dax
Rampage.
Harwood.
Dax taking on, and then Brian Danielson taking on Chris Jericho.
rematch.
That's right.
Live next Wednesday.
Rematch.
That's great. That's a great visual right there.
And that's the end of the show.
That's the way it should be.
What are you doing?
You can tell Daniel Garcia gets it too.
You think they're gonna switch Yuta over to?
I think
Jericho?
so. I think so because
Because
he wasn't.
Oh,
very
this is
appreciative.
the real show now. We start the real podcast. All that was just bullshit. BattleBots is on now.
BattleBots are champion.
Get your goals ready,
Yeah,
guys.
get your
Safety
goals
first.
ready. We're starting the real show now.
Right.
Flying
I'm gonna push.
shrapnel everywhere.
We're gonna go live now.
Flying shrapnel everywhere.
This was a warm up the first 2
That was a
hours.
warm up. The first 2 hours was a warm up. BattleBots has started. The show has begun.
Now it's
shrapnel.
10:01, Henry.
And then the 12 o'clock, we're going to the Golden Girls Marathon.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the real spot.
Hey, I
Oh,
danced
boy.
with Golden Girls at Barber Hall too.
Are you old enough to know what the Golden Girls is? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I was just making sure. You know.
He does.
Do you know what thank you for being a friend means? I mean,
Yep.
okay, I was just making sure. Because some of these kids like, what?
What is the Golden
Those
Girls?
girls back in the 80s.
I have no idea what that means.
There's so many.
Well, it is 10 o'clock, and you got a lady you got to pick up.
Yeah,
So
I get stabbed if I don't. You know?
okay, yeah. So is there anything you want to put over? Anybody you want to put over?
Not Adrian Alexander. No, I'm just kidding.
Say whatever you need to say.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance, if a Kentucky or Indiana, Ohio, whoever's listening, if a pro wrestling event is happening in your town, near your town, do yourself a favor, go to it. You have no idea what you're missing. Just because you don't see them on the big TV, internet, and everything, you will be surprised what you will see. You'll be entertained. You may be mad. You may go somewhere else. Who knows? But you will not know until you go. Go to these places, buy their merchandise. You have no idea what you would do for wrestlers if you buy their merchandise. You may even feed them. That is a shoot,
Yeah.
whether you want to believe it or not. This is what some of these guys do for their livelihood. So go support indie wrestling, pro wrestling, every kind of wrestling. Support it all. Go to everybody's show that you can go to. Put everybody over. Have a good night. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much.
Right.
So I want to. Anything you want to say, Jonathan? I mean, Johnny.
I want to say thank you for allowing us this opportunity.
Thank you for having me.
You're
I
very
appreciate
welcome.
this.
Thank you for being late and knocking incessantly
Yeah.
because your Slim Jims didn't come.
Darn those
Thank you,
Slim
Andrew
Jims.
DeBrowning, for graciously helping him in his Slim Jims.
There you go.
Good job.
And
Lost
thank
those
you
Slim
to our host, Andy, here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Stay
The
nice.
man with
So, guys, we're having Lady
Hi,
Inferno.
Mom.
Lady Inferno.
Lady Inferno and Fiji Wildman is going to be on the show tomorrow night, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, and then Saturday night we're having a special show. Enzo Amore is going to be the real one, Enzo, formerly known as Enzo Amore.
Andrew can't bring the title because he'll, you know.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
guys, check out Royal Lex for all your internet gaming needs. Get on Facebook and tell them the Nice Guy Andy podcast sent you, and they will give you $5 in free play. And check out Bobby Blade's YouTube channel. Check out New South's YouTube channel, New South Wrestling on Facebook. And Andrew Watkins, that's me on Facebook. Check out my reels, and that we're
And
monetized.
check out Allied Pro Wrestling.
Allied Pro Wrestling on
Allied Pro.
Facebook and Allied Pro Wrestling on YouTube. Check those out too.
Check all those out.
That's right.
Give all these. Don't we watch We watch wrestling on cable, but don't watch anything else.
That's right.
Go to YouTube and watch our channels and support us.
I
And
will say this too. I also have ProWrestlingTees.com, Henry Shaw store.
there you
That's
go.
right.
The best T-shirts you'll ever see.
Support
keep you
this
warm.
man.
So it'll keep you warm and it'll keep you fly. And it's
And all you hot mamas.
there you go.
Right there.
Yeah.
Especially the hot mamas. Make
Hit
sure
him
they-
in the DMs.
Yeah. Bring
Don't do
sandwiches to show.
Your wife's going to be mad at me.
Yeah, he
there you
wants
go.
some sandwiches.
Yeah, bring some sandwiches.
Okay, we're going to get out of here because he's got to go pick his wife up. She's in
right.
nursing school over there studying hard. Shout out to her. Shout your wife out.
Yeah, hello, Sarah. I'll be there in shortly.
Okay, so thanks, guys, and we're going to get out of here.
Great
Stay
show.
nice.
Thanks for having me.
Stay
guys.
nice.